is game day at the 2026 Future Games. The workout day is over, and now comes those pressure cooker moments with the sea of coaches watching. These are the moments that will set the stage for the next step in these players' baseball journeys. Welcome into LakePoint Sports. I'm Cory McCartney here to bring you our game of the day, one with a built-in rivalry as it's Ohio versus Michigan. A game that will feature 3 of the top 35 players in the nation and 19 players in all with national rankings. First pitch in this one slated for right around 8:30 p.m. Should be a blast. I'll also be joined by Prep Baseball Ohio Scouting Director Kyle Weldon. Kyle's a new dad who's going to be watching us along with us from back home in Ohio, taking in the action. Now, among those nationally ranked players in action will be Michigan's Flip Waters, #1 in Michigan, #3 in the nation. Flip is already booked for the Prep Baseball All-American game in September. He joined me in studio to discuss getting that invite and being the younger of 3 brothers that includes one who's at LSU and a Central Michigan quarterback. In studio, Flip Waters, the #1 player in Michigan and a Prep Baseball All-American, back to the Future Games. Man, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
When's the last time anybody, to your face, called you Colton?
I would actually say 3 or 4 days ago when I was hitting with one of my guys back at home named Griff. I do hitting with him and he was joking around. He actually called me that for the first time. It was weird, but I was like, it's whatever.
Is that reserved for mom?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, nobody calls me that.
Well, we talk about this big year for you back here at the Future Games. You've already got that invitation to be joining us in Miami in September for the Prep Baseball All-American game. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What was your reaction when you had that invitation, and then what did you kind of know about it before you got it?
My reaction was just like, it's kind of like, wow, like this is awesome. Like it's gonna be fun. And I was just very blessed to receive it, and I just know it's going to be the top players, so I just got to go out and perform and do my thing.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable event. You obviously, #1 player in Michigan, #2 outfitter in the nation, #3 overall in the class, 6'4", 760. We're at workout day. What is do you have a goal number?
I do. I got to get below a 6'4".
You have to get below a 6'4".
I have to.
What are you going to reward yourself with if you get under 6'4"?
I think I should reward myself with some Chipotle.
Okay, now what's the order then?
Ooh,
that's the follow-up. If you're going to put that out there.
I'm a both rice type of guy.
Okay.
So you got to go both rices, no beans, because beans, And then we got honey Chipotle chicken, corn, salsa, a little bit of red sauce, a little bit of sour cream, and I'm normally a lettuce guy. There's some parasite.
Yeah.
None of that. So
are you a limited meat guy, like whatever the limited meat is? Because the honey chicken's only gonna be here for a little bit.
It is, yeah. That and the El Pastor. Those are my 2 favorite. But if none of those are in store, then I'll just do the regular chicken. You are one of 3 Rochester Adams players here on Team Michigan. Tell me what that's like for you to share the stage with guys that you share so much baseball time with. It's awesome. I'm very happy. As baseball, I guess we weren't exactly known until going into the season, as big as our team became, because we don't have many big name players like that. But we're just a hard fighting team, and for the other 2 to receive the Akil and Brady, who both are studs, to receive the invite too is awesome.
Obviously, your brother Bino made a ton of noise this summer, leaving Notre Dame to now join LSU. Tell me what that was like at home when you guys were dealing with all that.
To be honest, I stayed out of most of it. It was more of him when he was on his visits and figuring out where he was going to go. I knew he liked the college he was going to, the other visits he had. But then when he texted it was LSU, I think everyone was just super excited for him.
Have you told him, listen, I'm not talking about anything college. Don't put LSU in my brain until we get to August 1st because I can't do anything.
No, I talked to him a lot. Yeah, because he's already been through everything. Yeah. So I'm glad that he's as big as a name as he is now, because I can talk to him with everything that goes on in my life, because he's a baseball guy, so everything that happens within baseball, I can ask him a question, he'll most likely have an answer.
Yeah, and obviously your brother Rhino on his way to Central Michigan to be the Chippewas quarterback. Yeah. What's that dynamic like at home with the 3 of you guys? Because being the younger one, I'm sure it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's all just competition, to be honest. Ever since a young age, it was always who's better than the other, stuff like that. And me and Rhino, I wouldn't say we butt heads too much. I feel like it'd be more of a competition between me and Bino because we're the baseball guys, but we all have a really good relationship. I'm
going to kind of put this out there. 9 times out of 10, younger brother usually winds up better than the other 2 because he watched what they did and he doesn't do it, and he learns his lesson.
For sure. No, I'm hoping to, be the best out of the 3.
Number 4, what's the quickest way to know someone's a pitcher?
Their glove.
Yeah.
Like if they're walking up to the field without a bat and all they have is a glove in their hand, you're like, that dude's a pitcher. And I would say like their body type.
Yeah.
Lots of pitchers, I mean, I wouldn't say are not athletic, but I'm saying like you can kind of tell between like a player and position.
There seems to be more guys, but you think about like Coleman Borthwick and all those guys now. There's some hosses on the mound these days.
That is true. Yeah, it is true. I would say I go with the glove then.
All right, number 8. What's the most intimidating thing a pitcher can do? We're apparently living in a pitcher world here. The most intimidating thing a pitcher can do.
I don't know. I guess I'd say a nice little grunt on like a off speed, in my opinion, because like, I mean, I've faced pitchers who throw gas, but like it's not gonna like really beat you much if you're a good hitter. But for the pitchers who are gonna throw gas, but then go a changeup and like grunt, I feel like it's like what the heck? You just grunted on a changeup, like that's not right. In my opinion.
What about the guy that kind of just sits there and shakes back and forth and has got the real high setup on his? Is that intimidating, or more? Do you just like, dude, just settle down?
I think it's a clown move. Like,
yeah,
just pitch the ball. Like that's not going to do anything to me.
All right, I love that. Number 60, and this is man. I have a feeling I know where you're going to go here. Number 60, which position has the biggest ego?
I would say the catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, they lead the field, like obviously behind the plate, but I feel like, I don't know, I know a lot of catchers who egos are through the roof because they lead the field and they think they hit bombs every time like that.
Well, they got to make that back pick throw. They got to have the confidence to do that.
They got everything on the field, but I think they got the biggest.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of guys would say shortstop just because there's a swagger to a shortstop. But to me,
that's different.
To play the catcher position, you have to have so much ego.
Yeah, that's different. It's like, I mean, shortstop, they're all smooth. That's like
right.
What they're known for. Catchers, they're just big dudes like who just hit nukes. So I can say they've got big egos.
Well, Flip Mason, I appreciate it, man. See you in Miami, and best of luck here at future games.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups for this one, presented by the Windscreen Factory. We'll start off with Team Ohio. Jake Coling going to start off in short. You're going to see a lot of shortstops and outfielders in this. Now, understand that the lineup is the positions are constantly going to be changing as guys will be working in throughout this one. So while we are seeing just a couple positions listed for Ohio, that does not mean that they are taking on some new look baseball here in rolling out 7 shortstops. That's not going to happen. So Jake Coling leading things off. Then it's Jacob Groeschel, Derek Ogden, Jackson Vondashar, then Andrew Oppenheimer, Johnny Kiveman, Remy Troutner, Grady Kearns, Holden Wilcox, Thomas Barnhart, Parker Alix, Knox Brennan, Colt Ward, and Landon Eckleberry, the right-hander, will be on the mound for Michigan, leading off with Flip Waters, who you just saw my interview with, and followed by Timmy Clary, Josh Leonard, Chase Steger, Mason Marcy, Luke Fairchild, Jackson Lestock, Maxim Nishov, Jimmy Sequin, Chase Atkins, Jackson Hafner, Tyson Lind, Mick Schmid, Tristan Spencer, Jackson Reinhardt, and the right-hander Mason Piloto will be on the mound for Michigan. Rain is falling here in Emerson, Georgia. So as we cut to our dual feed shot here, we'll show you the lineup. We'll still keep the lineup on the one side, and we'll take you back to the field action here. But the rain's coming down. We did have the umpires out there at home plate, but it looks like the home plate meeting going to be delayed for just a few minutes, so we're going to be a couple minutes behind in this one. Texas North and SoCal. Let's see. So yeah, all right, there we go. So we got the Ohio Michigan going. We'll leave you with this until we're able to come and bring you first pitch, and I'll dial in Kyle Weldon as we bring you our coverage of Ohio versus Michigan. This fantastic rivalry about to play itself out on our fields. This is the 2026 Future Games. We'll be back with more from Emerson, Georgia. Time for our player spotlight presented by Geosurfaces Ohio, rolling out right-hander Landon Eckelberry, and just a tooled-up 6'3", 215-pound righty, ranked second at the position nationally, is the number 2 ranked player in the Buckeye State. Eckelberry slated to pitch the first 2 innings of this one for Ohio, and now bring in Prep Baseball Ohio scouting director Kyle Weldon, a new dad who's back in Ohio watching this one. Kyle, man, appreciate you jumping on. I know a lot going on life-wise for you right now.
Hey, first time, long time. Appreciate you having me, Corey. Yeah, we are in the middle of a battle of the wheels right now with this kid, but it's been great so far.
Well, I know you're excited to see this one, and being an Ohio native, I know this is a rivalry that it's hard to define unless you live it to know what Ohio versus Michigan means. What's it mean for you from a baseball standpoint to put your guys out there against the best that Michigan has to offer?
That's what it's all about, man. You know, getting our guys together and going and competing against the best players we can and showcasing what Ohio baseball is about. And I think a lot of college coaches appreciate the product that we bring down every year, and we're excited to see them play it out this year.
We've got Jacob Groeschel stepping in here now, and this is undeniably a special player. I spent some time in studio with Jacob, and a quiet kid, to say the least, but the talents with him are just undeniable.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools there. Yeah, you know, we had him at 6'3" at pro case, usually around a 6'5" type runner. And it's a really low effort swing that produces quite a bit of output. He's on the barrel a lot. He flies around the field. He's a player that has a really bright future. We're excited about him.
Yeah, well, he goes to I'm from Bellefonte, so he went to my Central Buckeye Conference rival, Kenton Ridge. But the kid's 6'3" in the 60, and talking to him about the changes in him to get to that level of speed. Were you guys surprised to see him ripping off a 6'3" back in the preseason events?
So much so we made him run it twice, and he did it twice. We wanted to make sure we got it right, and made him run it again, and ripped off 2 6'3s, and that's just, it is different. And the speed is he's maintained it throughout the summer too. It's pretty impressive. Had just a great year for Kenton Ridge. He hit 9 homers as a sophomore. I think 6 of those came in 1 week. When he gets hot, it's really, really scary.
There's a lot of eyes back there behind home plate checking out this one. Mason Pialotto on the mound out of Romeo High School for Michigan. 6 foot, 185-pound right-hander, top-ranked righty in Michigan, 7th overall. We showed Eckelberry in our pregame spotlight. Tell me about what we're going to see when he gets on the mound and why you guys decided to roll with him to start off this game against Michigan.
Yeah, he's a tremendous athlete. QB1 there for Clay as well. Just an excellent thrower of the baseball. Has a case that, if he wanted to, could probably two-way at some point, but probably has a much higher ceiling on the mound. Just a really good thrower of the baseball. He's got feel for all 4 of his pitches. I would expect it to be 92 to 94 tonight. Might go up and grab a 5 or a 6. It just depends on how he's feeling with football around the corner. And it's predominantly slider, but he's got a curveball and a changeup that he'll mix in to get guys off the fastball as well.
Yeah, I got an offer from Toledo, I saw, for the football side of it. From what you've talked to coaches about, do you have the expectation that those kind of like a little bit like you guys have with Matt Ponatoski because I remember talking to Ponatoski when he was here as part of the Future Game squad, and he said, "You know what? I'm only getting MAC offers right now for football. I'm really interested in going both." And obviously, we saw where things took off for him. Are you expecting kind of a similar trajectory here with Eckelberry?
It's certainly possible. I mean, Matt's junior fall really put him on the map from a football standpoint. And then all of a sudden he's considering some Power 4 offers in both sports. I don't know if it's going to happen with Landon, but he's certainly talented and athletic enough that there's going to be a lot of people interested.
Runners aboard here for Ohio now, and moving on, we now have Derek Ogden out of Stephen T. Baden High School in Hamilton. First-ranked shortstop in the state, 15th overall. He's a 24 junior feature gamer. How much pride do you take in watching a guy make that leap from someone that you looked at a couple years ago to being back here on the big stage?
He's been obviously on the radar a long time, just defensively, just an operator. Guy, you know what you're going to get every time he goes out and plays short. Just a really steady, consistent defender, and the bat has just kept trending up over the last couple of years. So it's been fun to watch him work and watch him grow. He's a guy that a lot of schools are going to be really interested in, just the way he plays the game. He plays it hard. He plays very fundamental. There's not a whole lot of flash. He's just going to make the plays and make them at a high rate.
Let's get a 2-1 count here. Make that 3-1 against Piloto. How tough is this for you not being here? Obviously, you're experiencing things right now that, you know, these are once in a lifetime opportunities for you. But how tough is it not being here after having gone through the whole process of getting these guys down here to Georgia?
You know, this is like our Super Bowl every year. So, you know, missing this is tough, but obviously it's for a great reason. I'm glad my wife is not having to do all of this by herself. But yeah, no, this is hard. We took a lot of pride in the group. We brought it down last year. You know, that being kind of the first future games roster I got to pick from start to finish. The first year I came on, you know, it was kind of already slated on who were going to be the guys. So the last year was that first group that we scouted, or I got to scout from start to finish. And then, you know, this group we've been on for a couple of years. So it's tough not to be down there and see it all play out on the field.
Boy or girl? Is this your first also?
This is our first, and It's a boy. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It will, and I'm sure everyone has told you this, and they will continue to tell you this. It will go by in a flash, and they'll be junior feature game eligible before you even know it.
Yeah. Well, I hope he at least enjoys being around baseball. He doesn't have to be great at it, but he certainly will be around it a lot. So hopefully that he takes a liking to it.
Go out here and have a mound visit with Piloto. Plenty of traffic on the base pass here for Ohio, trying to put a stamp on this one early on. Kyle Weller, Prep Baseball Ohio scouting director, joining us over the phone. This is a first for us. We've had plenty of firsts here in our studio, but we've never had somebody just phoning in for this one. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. This is we're breaking new territory.
I like it. I appreciate you doing this for me and being able to get me on here. This is fun to watch our guys, you know, in this kind of setting, and be able to kind of talk through it with you too. One of the big things with our selection process is, yeah, we want to bring down the best players we possibly can, but we want to make sure we bring guys down that know how to win baseball games too. So you're going to see a lot of guys that just have great approaches at the plate, don't try to do too much, and just kind of let their talent and their skills show. That was a big pride point for us this year in the selection process.
I was actually a QT across the street from LakePoint on my way in yesterday, and I ran into Thomas Barnhart and his dad over there. And I honestly think it's a really smart approach for you guys to take an arm, especially a high leverage arm like Eggleberry, and bring in his high school or his travel catcher, somebody he's familiar with, because this can be such an intimidating environment for a catcher to have to learn a new arm. So for you guys to be able to do that, I think just makes so much sense, just from a comfort level for both of them.
No doubt. Yeah, it's nice when you can have a battery that's worked together before. Just provides a level of comfort for the pitcher mainly, where he can kind of relax and look down there and see a familiar face and a guy that knows his stuff, and he's not second guessing pitch calls or anything like that. So it was Thomas earned the invite on his own merit, obviously, but you know, if we can pair those two together, it's just a icing on the cake for us.
All right, we're actually going to roll the inning. So Ohio, I'm not going to say you left the bases stranded, but you kind of left the bases stranded. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. Bottom of the first. Michigan will be up when we come back from LakePoint Sports.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our second baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier products. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with netting pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports. Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
All right, welcome back. Ohio and Michigan, we're still scoreless. We rolled the inning with the bases loaded for Ohio in the top of the first. Kyle, you're not going to get that back. You're not going to get that opportunity back with the bases loaded. They're going to wish they had that one. Because Michigan got you guys last year, right? I remember watching that one.
The year before they did, I think.
Okay.
We went 3-0 last year.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, the rolling innings thing's tough. It's like, all right, we want to be competitive, but still protect guys' arms during this process and make sure they get through 2 innings. I don't know what the right answer there is. Maybe count the runners in scoring position, something like that, so we're not walking away with nothing.
Yeah, I remember last year they had the great moment with Rocco Bucci playing against one of his Canes Midwest teammates in that matchup. So yeah, I remember that now. All right, we're now getting our first look at Landon Eckelberry facing off against Flip Waters. And this really gets no better than this. Flip Waters, as we saw in our pregame interview, on his way to the Prep Baseball All-American game. And I would anticipate, and I have no say in what ultimately Shooter's going to decide, but I would think Eckelberry's got a really strong chance to also be with us down in Miami for the feature games. And he's now got a full count here against Flip Waters. Big guy, big moment here, big matchup. Ooh, and he misses inside on him. What do you like about Eckelberry in big situations like this?
Well, he went deep in the playoffs with Clay. He's a quarterback. He's got that experience of playing in front of thousands of people on a Friday night. And with those guys, they generally have a slower heartbeat. They're not trying to do a whole lot in terms of trying to do too much. They're going to trust their stuff. And from what I've seen from Landon, when he gets deeper into postseason play in the spring, gets into big games against big rival opponents, he always steps up. So it's a guy I don't expect to struggle much in this kind of environment.
I love this. So we had a walk, so they bring a courtesy runner in there because Flip wants to continue his at bat. So he's going to stay up there, and it kind of takes you to the. You never know what you're going to situationally. You never know what you're going to get at the feature games. A guy will get hit by a pitch, and he'll stay in there. A guy will draw a walk, and he'll stay in there. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're trying to present the best picture as possible for these players to be in front of these coaches. But between that and rolling an inning, you kind of have to be almost ready for anything when you're at feature games.
No doubt. Yeah, it's a blend between competitive and making sure we're showcasing guys and putting guys in a position where coaches can get a great look at them, because that's ultimately what it's about, right? Obviously, we got some pride in going out and winning games, but for these players and the college coaches in attendance, it's about evaluating and getting a great look at guys right before the August 1st comes up. I think I'm like 4 or 5 pitches behind you here, Corey.
Well, my camera's not. It's in the same one as you. So while we are here on site, and it looks like rain's starting to fall here in Emerson, we're actually watching the same feed, and it's starting. I can hear it on my studio roof now. It's starting to rain even harder, and now it gets him down on strikes. The arm angle with Eckelberry just creates a lot of deception. He's getting a lot of run on that fastball.
And he tunnels the fastball and the slider together for a long time. And that, for right-handed hitters, just becomes a nightmare. He can land that pitch. He can run it off the plate and get chased with it. I've seen a lot of end-zone swings and misses on both the fastball and the slider. It's just an uncomfortable look. They kind of have to sit on one or the other. And if they guess wrong, they're in a tough spot.
He's now facing...
Especially at 92, 93.
He's now facing Timmy Clary from Caledonia, Grand Rapids Central Catholic, 5th-ranked shortstop in Michigan, 23rd overall. He's here twice for the junior feature games, 24 and 23. That's going to become, we're not going to see that much. I think this is the last year, right? This is probably the last year we're going to have guys who are going to be multiple times junior feature gamers making that jump.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
This is probably the last year that we're going to see guys who had been multiple-time junior feature gamers, because we took out 1 year of the junior feature games to move into the seniors. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's some states that are still, like, for this year, for example, like bringing a 2031 or not, but we're exclusively doing rising freshmen in Ohio, which I'm pretty sure every state's kind of gotten on board with that.
Elevated fastball. He drives that down the left side. That's in foul territory. Everybody on the run, but the AB will continue.
Eckelberry's a lot of fun to watch, man. It's not super high effort, and the ball just explodes out of his hand.
Was also a guy that can get it done at the plate. He's got EVs up to 104.3, a bat speed north of 86. And he has a 6'9", 660. This is just, as you mentioned, from the quarterback makeup, this is just absolute athlete.
No doubt. And, at what level could the bat play? It's probably a little bit lower than where the arm's going to be. And so in a situation like that, when we're picking the roster for future games, obviously we're trying to maximize guys' window of opportunity here and kind of show what they're best at. So this first game, him, the next two guys that are going to come in, and then the last two, they're all five of those guys are potential two ways that we had to kind of pick and choose how we were going to present them down here. And these first three we brought down as POs, but all three of them are bona fide bats at the high school level and potentially into some level of college baseball if they were to pursue that.
Well, as I'm sure you can see now, everybody walking off the field, and I do not think we are rolling the inning. I think we're actually getting off the field because the rain is coming down so hard. So you guys are going to go with Bryce Bestgrove for innings 3-4, Seth Mabry 5-6, Andrew Oppenheimer for inning 7, and Knox Brenning for inning 8. We spent so much time, I think, talking about the players with national rankings that are here, and you guys have 13 of them. It's just an extremely deep squad. Who were you kind of looking at when you thought, you know what, I know this is a guy that may not be in that real upper echelon of the national rankings, but this is a person I think the players are going to be talking about when they leave Emerson?
Yeah, I think a guy like Remy Trotner, who was a starting shortstop for a state championship team as a sophomore. The tools aren't going to jump off the page maybe the same way as some of our higher ranked guys, but it's going to be a guy that coaches watch and that they're going to be really impressed with the approach and the maturity and how he goes about things. A kid like Jake Kelling is another one who's going to play in the middle of the infield and probably run out and play some center field this weekend as well. From Mason, older brothers at Miami of Ohio. Just comes from a really good line of baseball players. But another guy's, not super high in the national rankings, but a guy that's going to go out and be a gamer and kind of falls into that category of, we had two really big requirements when we were picking this roster. And it was, one, is the kid going to help us win baseball games? And two, our college coach is going to be excited about watching them play baseball. And those guys kind of fit that mold.
You guys will have Kansas after this one. That one's on Friday at 8:30, and Saturday play Kentucky at 2:30. And it is absolutely pouring here in Emerson, Georgia. We have some photographers coming into our studio now that they are absolutely drenched. It's inescapable here when we have the rain. All right, so typically Jack McCartney joining me on the broadcast. Jack, it's pouring out there. What's the vibe like at a wet LakePoint Sports during the future games?
Wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's games behind. Games are going to be even more behind.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting some sort of shade away from the rain. So, don't know how that's going to go, but sprinting at every angle it possibly can right now.
All right, well, it's absolutely nasty out there. We're going to take a break. We'll rejoin you as soon as we can, give you some more information on when we're going to restart. We've gotten a little bit in, but so far, so good. Michigan and Ohio in the 2026 future games will be back from LakePoint Sports.
The success of every athlete depends on their instincts and split-second decision-making skills. S2 Cognition delivers the leading digital evaluation that is scientifically validated to measure these cognitive abilities that have been unquantifiable until now. The S2 eval is designed to analyze how athletes see, think, and react to in-game split-second decisions. So how does S2 work? The S2 eval is a 30 to 45-minute sports-specific digital evaluation that measures an athlete's cognitive skills and instincts. The eval is uniquely designed for each sport to capture the split-second decisions made in the game. The S2 score report is automatically generated after the eval, with data that provides a complete picture of the athlete's cognitive skills. These results will unlock opportunities for athletes, coaches, athletic directors, scouts, and general managers. It's time to know your game so that you can build to win.
Welcome back. As you can see on the left side, we are in a weather delay. Luckily, thus far, there's been no airborne electricity to inhibit us any further, but we're going to let Kyle Weldon go take a little bit of a break there and be a dad for a few minutes. We'll bring him back in when our game action continues. Not really sure how long we are going to be under delay. There's some heavy rainstorms expected in the Emerson area, honestly, through most of the night. So we will update you as soon as we can, and we'll leave you with our fancy weather delay graphic on one side, and we'll let you see the rain coming down here in Emerson on the other. We'll rejoin you as soon as we can. Maybe we'll even roll in some from our rain delay programming here as well. But we'll be back with more. You're watching the 2026 Future Games. The Pacific Northwest, birthplace of Pearl Jam and Corbin Carroll, where the mountains meet the sea and the sky is always changing. And it's the next stop on the road to the future games to welcome in Pacific Northwest Assistant Scouting Director Dylan Grenz. Dylan, man, great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Corey. Thanks for having me.
A year ago, 12 players from the PNW committed on the heels of the future games. The journey is long, but the rewards are immense. The region is in the midst of a baseball renaissance, and it's really become a reliable pipeline for talent. Take us in the excitement from your end on getting to put these guys in front of the college scouts.
Yeah, Shooter Hunt, Dan Jurek, and I have had so many conversations over the last calendar year just about this 2028 class specifically, and the strength in it, both in Washington and Oregon. And, it's as strong a class as we've seen in many years. And as you mentioned, just kind of goes back to the resurgence of baseball in the Pacific Northwest. We're super excited for this team and can't wait to get down to LakePoint.
Let's dive into some key players to watch in the PNW squad. Start off with the number one player in Washington and the number one player in Oregon. Kent Lake shortstop Lincoln Moore, Washington's top-ranked player, 18th nationally, is certainly one to watch. Exit velos north of 106, a ridiculous 84.5 bat speed, runs a 6'7". Meanwhile, Sam Smith, number 1 in Oregon, 172 nationally, equally impressive, 6'4", 760, 84.7 bat speed. EV's nearly at triple digits. Suffice to say, everyone is going to be watching Moore and Smith.
No doubt. And you can't say enough good things about both of these guys, right? Starting off with Lincoln, just does it all on the baseball field, right? You know, he's the offensive profile. It's more gap-to-gap power in a 6'2", longer, lean frame. Has been pulling the ball with some authority more as of late, which has been nice to see. But ultimate competitor, obviously big juice in the bat there. And defensively, he's a real quality mover. Should be able to stick in the dirt and provide a plus glove at shortstop there for the time being and moving forward. And beyond all the on the field tools, he's just a winner, just a gamer. You know, I was able to see him several times this spring for Kent Lake, and Lincoln was able to win a state championship at the 3A level in Washington. So he does it all on the field. We're excited to see what he does. And on the other side, down there in Oregon, Sam Smith, it's kind of your stereotypical speedy leadoff type with some tools that fit the modern game as well. You know, he's got some sneaky thunder in that bat, 5'10", 5'11", left-handed stick. As you mentioned, the speed is the leading tool, right? He ran a 6'4" in the preseason at preseason All-State for us. And, provides a plus glove out there in center field. He's a true center fielder. It's great jumps on the ball, great routes. And, you know, between Sam and Lincoln, we've got a really strong core at the top there.
Yeah, let's get into Washington's number 2 and number 3 player, Colin McGowan and Kobe Reese. McGowan out of Battleground ranked 48th nationally, the country's number 4 third baseman. This guy's a specimen, 6'5", 220 pounds. The arm is elite, 92 in the bump, 93 in the infield. Then there's Reese. EV's up to an absurd 108.6 with an 86.9 bat speed, max distance of 405. I expect that the Eastside Catholic product is going to put on a show during batting practice.
You stole my line there, Corey. Yeah, he's between Colin and Kobe. Some of the loudest tools at future games I would expect to come from those two guys. Colin was at LakePoint earlier this summer at NPI and stole the show. Shooter put out a great tweet about him earlier. As you mentioned, was up to 92, 93. It's long, loose, athletic, comes in at a steep angle, really gets on hitters with that fastball. And you pair that with a strong slider, sharp kind of bullet slider, and a changeup as well. It's a really strong profile on the mound, and he has a chance to throw really, really hard. He can get it done at the plate as well. He's a legit two-way prospect at this point. So we'll see him on both sides there at Georgia for Team PNW. And then Kobe, as you mentioned, coaches are going to want to line up to see this batting practice. It is light tower power from the left side, 6'4", 210. He's well built, a ton of bat speed, hand speed present. And, you know, when he connects, especially to the pull side, it's just some majestic shots that we've seen, whether it's at super sophomore games, state games, preseason All-State. He delivers every time we see him, and would expect no different next week.
Everyone loves a sleeper, and you guys may have one in Vaca Tamelao, ranked 15th overall in Washington, 4th ranked right-hander. The fastball's up to 91, the curveball over 2,500 spin. Sign me up.
Yeah, you know, he's a sleeper that's arguably becoming less and less of a sleeper just with his performance in the last month or two. But Vaca was a guy we saw at All-State this winter, and he was 86, 87 with the fastball, but it really came out of the hand well. It's nice and easy, clean operation mechanically. You know, he's 6'3", lean, long. And I was talking to Dan Jurek, our scouting director, about him after the event and said, man, Dan, this kid's got something. He's going to have a chance to make some big-time jumps quickly. And fast forward to this summer, and we're already seeing some of those jumps. You know, he was at NPI as well at LakePoint and was 90, 91 with the heater. Got reports of him into the mid-90s here in recent weeks as well. So low 90s, rather, not mid-90s. But, yeah, a ton of high expectations for Vaca. He's you know, another one of those Pacific Northwest arms that has a chance to be a big jumper like several other arms we've seen in years past, and really excited to see what he can do next week.
Well, the PNW is coming, so get ready. July 22nd through 25th. These guys are going to show up and show out. Dylan, appreciate it. Safe travels to Georgia.
Thanks, Corey.
In studio, Flip Waters, the #1 player in Michigan and a prep baseball All-American. Back to the feature games, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
When's the last time anybody, to your face, called you Colton?
I would actually say 3 or 4 days ago when I was hitting with one of my guys back at home named Griff. I do hitting with him, and he was joking around. He actually called me that for the first time. it was weird, but I was like, it's whatever.
Is that reserved for mom?
Yeah,
most of the
for
time?
sure. Yeah, no, nobody calls me that.
Well, we talk about this big year for you back here at the Future Games. You've already got that invitation to be joining us in Miami in September for the Prep Baseball All-American Game. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What was your reaction when you had that invitation, and then what did you kind of know about it before you got it?
I mean, my reaction was just like, it was kind of like, wow, like this is awesome. Like it's gonna be fun, and I was just very blessed to receive it, and I just know it's going to be the top players, so I just got to go out and perform and do my thing.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable event. You obviously #1 player in Michigan, #2 outfitter in the nation, #3 overall in the class, 6'4", 760. We're at workout day. What is the? Do you have a goal number?
I do. I got to get below a 6'4".
You have to get below a 6'4".
I have to.
What are you going to reward yourself with if you get under 6'4"?
I think I should reward myself with some Chipotle.
Okay, now what's the order then?
Ooh,
that's the follow-up. I mean, if you're going to put that out there.
I'm a both rice type of guy.
Okay.
So you got to go both rices, no beans, because beans, And then we got honey Chipotle chicken, corn, salsa, a little bit of red sauce, a little bit of sour cream, and I'm normally a lettuce guy. There's some parasite.
Yeah.
None of that. So,
are you a limited meat guy, like whatever the limited meat is? Because the honey chicken's only gonna be here for a little bit.
It is, yeah. That and the El Pastor. Those are my two favorite. But if none of those are in store, then I'll just do the regular chicken.
You are one of 3 Rochester Adams players here on Team Michigan. Tell me what that's like for you to share the stage with guys that you share so much baseball time with.
It's awesome. I'm very happy. Like, I mean, Adams baseball. I guess we weren't exactly like known until going into the season, like as big as like our team became, because we don't have many big name players like that. But I mean, we're just a hard fighting team, and like for the other 2 to receive the Akil and Brady, who both are studs, to receive the invite too is awesome.
Obviously, your brother Bino made a ton of noise this summer, leaving Notre Dame to now join LSU. Tell me what that was like at home when you guys were dealing with all that.
To be honest, I stayed out of most of it. It was more of him when he was on his visits and like figuring out where he was going to go. I knew he liked like the college he was going to, like the other visits he had. But then when he texted it was LSU, I think everyone was just super excited for him.
Have you told him, listen, I'm not talking about anything college. Don't put LSU in my brain until we get to August 1st because I can't do anything.
No, I mean, I talked to him a lot about it because he's already been through everything.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that like he's as big as a name as he is now, because like I can talk to him like with everything that goes on in my life, because like I mean he's a baseball guy, so like everything that happens within baseball, I can ask him a question, he'll most likely have an answer.
Yeah, and obviously your brother Rhino on his way to Central Michigan to be the Chippewas quarterback.
Yeah.
What's that dynamic like at home with the 3 of you guys? Because being the younger one, I'm sure it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean it's all just competition, to be honest. Like ever since a young age, like it was always like who's better than the other, stuff like that. And I mean, me and Rhino, I wouldn't say we butt heads too much. I feel like it'd be more of a competition between me and Bino because we're the baseball guys, but we all have a really good relationship.
I'm going to kind of put this out there. 9 times out of 10, younger brother usually winds up better than the other 2 because he watched what they did and he doesn't do it, and he learns his lesson.
For sure, no. I'm hoping to, be the best out of the 3.
Number 4, what's the quickest way to know someone's a pitcher?
Their glove.
Yeah.
Like if they're walking up to the field without a bat and all they have is a glove in their hand, you're like, that dude's a pitcher. And I would say like their body type.
Yeah.
Lots of pitchers, I mean, I wouldn't say are not athletic, but I'm saying like you can kind of tell between like a player and position.
There seems to be more guys, but like you think about like Coleman Borthwick and all those guys now. There's some hosses on the mound these days.
Yeah, it is true. I go with the glove then.
All right, number 8. What's the most intimidating thing a pitcher can do? We're apparently living in a pitcher world here. The most intimidating thing a pitcher can do.
I don't know. I guess I'd say a nice little grunt on like a off speed, in my opinion, because like, I mean, I've faced pitchers who throw gas, but like it's not gonna like really beat you much if you're a good hitter. But for the pitchers who are gonna throw gas, but then go a changeup and like grunt, I feel like it's like what the heck? You just grunted on a changeup, like that's not right. In my opinion.
What about the guy that kind of just sits there and shakes back and forth and has got the real high setup on his? Is that intimidating, or more? Do you just like, dude, just settle down?
I think it's a clown move. Like,
yeah,
just pitch the ball. Like that's not going to do anything to me.
All right, I love that. Number 60, and this is man. I have a feeling I know where you're going to go here. Number 60. Which position has the biggest ego?
I would say the catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, they lead the field, like obviously behind the plate, but I feel like I don't know. I know a lot of catchers who egos are through the roof because they lead the field and they think they hit bombs every time like that.
Well, they got to make that back pick throw. They got to have the confidence to do that.
They got everything on the field, but I think they got the biggest.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of guys would say shortstop just because there's a swagger to a shortstop. But to me,
that's different.
To play the catcher position, you have to have so much ego.
Yeah, that's different. It's like, I mean, shortstop, they're all smooth. That's like
right.
What they're known for. Catchers, they're just big dudes like who just hit nukes. So I can say they've got big egos.
Well, Flip Mason, I appreciate it, man. See you in Miami, and best of luck here at future games.
Thank you.
All right, we are finally back. Thanks for waiting out that weather delay with us, all you watching, along with Kyle Weldon, Prep Baseball, Ohio Scouting Director, waiting it out as well as we bring him back in and we get to see a little more Landon Eckelberry. He's now got Chase Steger at the plate here for Michigan. That one's right back up the middle. Shortstop has it, hits second for one out. Do they get the double play? Like Mario and Luigi, there's a great combination. We are now through another half an inning. Kyle didn't even get to chime in on that one, but we'll be back. You are watching the 2026 Future Games from LakePoint Sports.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Neela!
But you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports. Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Mila!
Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
New pitcher on the mound here for Michigan. This is Tristan Spencer out of Woodhaven High School in Romulus. 6'3", 225-pounder. This guy's not a defensive end or a tight end. They're doing something wrong in Romulus. First-ranked first baseman in Michigan, 5th overall. 9th-ranked first baseman in the nation with 297. Or what are we doing? Like, we're walking off the field again? If this isn't a lightning delay, then I'm not quite sure what in the world is going on here. If the rain is coming down again, so we're looking at the radar. It's supposed to rain through 11 o'clock tonight. So really not sure what we're going to do if we can't get these games in. As you know, Kyle, with the future game schedule, everything's kind of, I mean, it's a razor's edge here. I mean, the games start tomorrow at 9 a.m. and the last slate is for 8:30. We obviously still have the juniors going on as well. So we're going to wait this thing out as long as we can. And this is not a great situation. And you wonder for the pitchers too. I mean, when these guys are, I mean, you guys had Landon to pitch the first couple innings. So hopefully, if he's going to be out there again, a long layoff doesn't impact him. But this is not an ideal situation for anybody.
No, this is brutal. But just one of those things. Yeah, the schedule gets packed, and they'll play pretty late if they have to. But at a certain point, you have to start looking at maybe we slide a 7 a.m. game if we have to.
Hopefully that's not. I don't want to. You're going to be getting a little sleep as it is the next 3 months, so I don't want to have to drag you back out in this thing in the morning. So,
well, there's a great chance I will be awake.
Yeah.
Every hour and a half, just about.
All right, well, Maddie, I think we should probably let's roll some more weather delay footage here as we'll go back to our Road to the Future Game series. rejoin everybody as soon as we can with a little bit more information here on when we're going to restart Michigan and Ohio for the third time. The road to the future games is heading down south to the land of the Pines, where we welcome in Deep South Supervisor David Sharp. David, good to see you.
Great to see you. Appreciate you having me on. Ton of excitement, less than 2 weeks away, and get the future games cranked up, man. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it all goes down July 22nd through 25th at LakePoint Sports. And David, there's some defending the turf here for you in the states as you oversee Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. And there's defining a standard. 2 of the last 3 most valuable pitchers have come from your states. Tell me about the pride, not only in the performance of your own state, Alabama, but in the Deep South showing, I mean, you guys, year after year, have got some dudes.
Yeah, the realization of this event is just getting these players in front of the 400 plus college coaches that will be in attendance. That's what this is about. But anytime a competitor steps on the field, the competitive juices get flowing. You want to win. Winning and losing here is not important. It's about showing what you've got. But these players, there are some very good players in the South, just like there are in other areas of the country. And every team that comes is bringing the best from their state. So I just think it's a competitive nature where you get going and you want to end up on the right side of the scoreboard, I guess you can say. But we're looking forward to bringing these states bringing some immense talent again this year.
I'm not going to name names. I know some state directors are keeping records in their head to head. So I'm just saying. All right, let's start off. Let's start off in your neck of the woods. And Alabama is anchored by one of the most dynamic corner infielders in the country, Hunter Elmore out of American Christian Academy, 6'1", 206 pounds, the top-ranked player in Alabama, the nation's #1 first baseman. This guy is a beast at the plate. EVs into triple digits, bat speed at 74.3. David, this is a physical power bat that should put on a show.
100%, man. We love Hunter Elmore. He's been #2 in our state behind Hudson Oliver, and Hudson will be on our future games team as well. Both those guys, it could be 1A, 1B, but man, Hunter Elmore has just continued to solidify his prospect status moving forward. He's changed his body over the last couple of years, which has just added more physicality to him. But you're right, man. He can bang it to all parts of the yard. He was our prep baseball player of the year in Alabama this year as a sophomore. And that doesn't usually happen. And, there were some very good upperclassmen here in the state. But Hunter's numbers, I think he hit 510 with like 19 doubles, 13 home runs. Listen, and I think one of the big things for Hunter is, for a while, I think he was pigeonholed there at first base. Well, he has now changed his body, added some athleticism to his frame, and he actually played some middle infield for American Christian this year at second base and can play third. So I think he's opened up some avenues for him being able to, move away from first. He also doubles as an arm, upper 80s for American Christian. So, he is an immense talent, and the bat absolutely plays for him. There's no doubt about it.
Florida gives us Cohen Poplin from that powerhouse Venice program, the nation's 3rd-ranked right-hander, #1 at the position in the Sunshine State. There's a lot to like here. 4-pitch mix, fastball into the 90s. That slider's got over 2,600 spin. This guy has been battle-tested in Florida, and no doubt he's ready for the future game spotlight.
Yeah, man. Poplin's been up to 95. I think he's the #3 right-handed pitcher all across the country. Really, he's a fluid mover, attacks the strike zone with 3 different pitch shapes. And a lot of times you get those guys that throw 90s, mid 90s, and, you look and, command could be an issue. That's not an issue with him. Pinpoint command. He's always performed well in big time matchups. And as we know, the atmosphere doesn't get any bigger than when you come to the future games. But, this past season in the state championship, we know Gio Rojas, he went toe to toe or blow to blow with him in the state championship game. But you mentioned that slider, upwards of 2,700 on the spin. Also, two distinctly different breaking balls. Features a curveball, upper 70s, low 80s with up to 2,800 on the spin. So going to be interesting to watch him. I know that Alabama plays Florida, so we may get a front row seat to see him. So, yeah, but he's again, he's a prime time guy. Really performs his best when the moment's the biggest.
I'm obviously a little bit partial being here in Georgia, but I would argue that no squad is under more pressure at the Future Games than those Georgia boys. Everybody's stepping into your house. You want to defend your turf. And the Peach State has an arm that's absolutely up to the task. Right-hander Bryce Floyd got that deceptive three-quarter slot and a deep arsenal. And this is a guy who has lived that iron sharpens iron mentality, upping his game through his Holy Innocents teammate Amari Griffin, who used the same Future Games stage last year en route to a commitment to Georgia. I expect big things from Bryce Floyd.
Yeah, man, Bryce really finished the year, his high school season in the spring, really finished it in a big time manner. Won multiple win or go home games for them in the playoffs. They did make it to the private school state championship. Ultra competitive, upper 80s. You mentioned that deceptive lower, three-quarter slot there. And our scouting director, Hudson Graham, says he's got some of the best off-speed stuff in the class, which features a high-spin slider and a splitter that he is really confident in, and that he, it is obviously a swing and miss pitch for him, but he's not fearful to throw it in any count. So, we'll see how this event plays for him, much like his teammate last season.
Miracles can happen at the Future Games, and Louisiana is bringing one of their own in Logan Miracle. 6'2", 185-pound lefty from Grace Christian can absolutely deal. 190 strikeouts this past spring. He has done nothing but get better this summer, topping out at 91. The word is the breaking ball is getting better, and this is a prime example of a guy who may be under the radar, but the Future Games could very well change that.
You look at that body, 6'3", 190 from the left side. I think he's the number 18 ranked player in Louisiana, number 2 left-handed pitcher in the state. Listen, a college coach sees that walk on the mound, and that's you're going to get eyes on you right there, simply from that body, that frame. Throw him with the left, throw him with the left hand. You mentioned an uptick in velocity. He's been up to 91 this year. And the big thing about him is he averages about 7-foot extension off the mound. So that 6'3" actually plays up even a little bit more, and we know how important that extension is with the fastball. He may be, you mentioned it, he may be flying under the radar here, but there's no better place to fly under the radar and go make a big statement than what he's about to do in 2 weeks. So, yeah, Miracle has been, Alex Armand talked with him earlier today about him. He just loves him, raves about him, and he thinks he's going to be a real-time guy that blows up from the Future Games.
Bryce Pinkin's toolbox is beyond loaded. The Oxford, Mississippi two-way, the state's third-ranked player, pushing EVs north of 102, runs a 6'9", 87 infield velo, and he's into the high 80s on the mound. And if the last name sounds familiar, his brother Patton just made 20 starts as a freshman point guard at Ole Miss. Again, another guy who could take advantage of this stage.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at, we want to bring guys over there that is what the college coaches want to see. Well, you probably couldn't cookie cut anything more than Bryce. I mean, you mentioned it, 6'4", 225, still running under, a sub 760. There's juice there, the genes. Obviously, you talked about his brother at Ole Miss starting point guard. A outfielder, first baseman, also arm. He's an arm, much like, we talked earlier about Hunter Elmore doubling as an arm. He'll jump on the mound as well, be upper 80s, and there's probably more to come there. Matt Miller raves about his power, the power off the bat. And we talk much like with Miracle, you're 6'3", 200 pounds, close to 200 pounds, and you jump out on the mound left-handed. Well, you're 6'4", 225. You step in the box. There's going to be eyes on him as well. So he's got a real chance. To blossom in 2 weeks there at LakePoint.
Finally, Tennessee bringing its top-ranked player to LakePoint and Brent Pasioric. Obviously, some really deep Major League bloodlines here. His brother Luke is a past Future Gamer. Brett's got the tools, though, to make a name for himself in front of those hundreds. A quick rejoinder here. we're going to bring in Kyle Weldon as well. So calling Kyle, so you're going to hear the phone ring. This is all happening in real time here. So taking everybody inside how the broadcasting sausage is made. Derek Ogden at the plate. Yeah, I got you, Kyle. All right, so we're back live. So for the third time, things finally getting underway now. Our third attempt at this thing. So hopefully this is the last time. I don't feel for these players having to get up and down. So Derek Ogden at the plate. You saw some of the glove work from Derek Ogden starting off that double play. Tell me what sets Derek apart and why you guys had to have him down here in Emerson.
Yeah, it's just really, really clean footwork. He understands how to make multiple plays. It's a dynamic mover left and right. And the timing, the internal clock across the infield is just so advanced for a kid his age. He's clearly been one of the most fundamental clean defenders in the class for a long time. So, when this roster was getting formulated, it was a no-brainer.
He's to be followed by Jackson Vondersar. That's a mouthful right there.
The 2 A's really get you, but yeah, Vondersar.
Vondersar.
Yep.
I think our scoreboard operator is quite up on the duties quite yet. Not seeing the count updated. Yeah, Spencer pitching from the stretch with a runner at first. So he did draw. So he drew the walk. So now we're gonna have the courtesy runner at first. Sometimes it feels like backyard baseball, right? Because like we have like ghost runners and.
Yeah, from your standpoint, trying to narrate what's going on certainly adds
really
a layer of complexity.
Yeah, between rolled innings and guys just randomly appearing on bases.
Mm-hmm. You almost need a live mic in a dugout. Hey,
That's
tell me
right.
what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, I need a sideline reporter.
Exactly.
I mentioned you guys have the 13 players with national rankings on this roster that came down here the future games. Do you kind of feel like Indiana has been a bit of a power for the last few years in developing players? Do you feel like Ohio is having a moment right now?
Yeah, and when I look at the classes below these guys too, the 29s, the 30s, even some of our early looks at the 31 group, it's a really fun time in Ohio right now if you're scouting baseball, because a lot of these classes are very deep, and the depth at the top, especially with this 28 group, is certainly more than we've had in a long time. And I don't really know what to attribute that to. Obviously, the development efforts around the state, everyone's working their butts off to keep improving and to keep building great athletes. But for whatever reason, this group is just very deep at the top.
Well, how long had the bubble been there for that Bo Jackson was using? Because I sort of feel like there's been a trend, and you would obviously know this much more than me, but it just feels like the last 5 to 10 years has just been such an uptick in indoor facilities building out in states like Ohio, where guys are getting an opportunity to get those cuts in at times of the years when maybe they wouldn't have before.
Yeah, it's certainly a very saturated market when you look at Cincy and Columbus and Cleveland. There's a lot of them, a lot of options. And, everyone's got their kind of niche and what they're good at and what they're known for. But yeah, there's a lot of great development groups, development houses, I guess you'd call them, around the state that have been putting in a lot of good work and putting great product out there, and players are getting the benefit of it.
Double steal was on. Derek Ogden caught at second. Count is 1-1 here to Jackson Vondersar out of Delaware. Third-ranked catcher in Ohio, 14th overall. Pop times on a 1.90. Catcher velo 79. Got EVs north of 100 miles an hour. Bat speed at 88.1. Sometimes with these bat speeds with these guys, I almost have to do a double take. Like you guys asking Jacob Grishel to go run a second time. It's like some of these bat speeds, it's obviously never apples to oranges. But when you're looking at what these guys are doing bat speed wise, and we kind of like line it up against what the guys at the majors are averaging, sometimes it's just absurd some of the bat speed these kids are ripping off.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind too. If you took a big leaguer and put them into a showcase environment and put a blast sensor on the bat, like that person is going to be able to swing the bat 90 plus miles an hour. In-game bat speed is always going to be lower than a controlled setting because there's that unknown of what am I going to see and where is it going to be. Take it for what it's worth. That even though that we might see some really big numbers, when you try to compare a showcase metric to an in-game metric, it's not always a 1-to-1 there.
That's a good point. Ooh, I think our camera just went wonky there for a second. Goes down on
Bonders are going to play a ton of outfield this week. He can play really anywhere on the field. And we brought some pretty talented catchers down, so probably not going to see much time behind the plate this week, but he'll be running around the outfield.
Now we're going to get a look at Andrew Oppenheimer. Had Oppenheimer here with the Hit Dogs earlier this summer on a Beaver Creek. 12th ranked player in Ohio. I'm sure Andrew went through a time period where nobody could say his name, and now everybody's probably got some pun lined up for his name.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes there that are pretty low-hanging fruit. This dude, he was the GWAC Player of the Year as a sophomore this year for Beaver Creek, which, there's some big schools in that conference. It's a big Division I conference. If you would have asked me, though, 18 months ago, what it was going to be, a bat or an arm, I probably would have said arm, but the bat has really trended, especially in, this last 10 to 12 months. And he just had a monster spring for Beaver Creek.
5'11", 178-pounder. Bats right, throws left. We've got him with EVs almost 102. We'll go back to that bat speed number, 84.8. Another guy who was here for those 24 junior feature games. He's got a 1-2 count, runner at third. Sends that one back foul.
Oppenheimer signaling change up to the dugout. I think I'm going to pitch behind you.
No, you're good. Two-two, he misses wildly on that one.
Oppenheimer going to throw an inning today as well and throw the seventh.
How do you guys balance the workload? So we obviously have Vinny Rottino in here, and Vinny is actually he's having all of his pitchers on day one pitch one inning and then bringing all those guys back on Saturday. And wild pitch, and there's the first run of the game, crossing for Ohio. So Spencer having a little bit of trouble finding the zone. Two of his last three pitches have missed pretty badly, and Ohio able to take advantage, and they get the runner who was on for the first time that Derek Ogden was issued a walk during that AB, so they now lead 1-0. But Vinny having everybody come back and this pitching on the first day, pitching the last day. How do you guys kind of go and formulate who's going to pitch, how much they're going to pitch, and how you kind of set the whole thing up?
Yeah, well, POs are going to get 2 innings, and you can do those. You can stack them, or you can split them the way that he's doing, or to go day 1 and day 3. And then 2 ways are getting 1 inning. So for me, it was, I want to make sure our 2 ways aren't gassed by the end of the weekend and having to throw on day 3. Want to make sure they get their 1 inning in on game 1. So then they can just spend the rest of the weekend worrying about their at-bats. And for the 2 ways, for the POs, from a travel standpoint, I think it's just easier for them to knock it out. So they can get in and get out. Now, I do get the value in, hey, you throw your first inning, kind of get your feet wet, get comfortable with the environment, and then come back and do it again on Saturday. And maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable. I can see how that probably will lower some stress for some guys. And I just, from a travel standpoint, there's a lot of moving pieces here, and just make it as simple as we can.
Oppenheimer goes down on strikes. Bryce Bestgrove coming out, taking his first warm-up pitches. We're going to take a quick break in studio. We'll rejoin you with our action from the 26 future games.
The success of every athlete depends on their instincts and split-second decision-making skills. S2 Cognition delivers the leading digital evaluation that is scientifically validated to measure these cognitive abilities that have been unquantifiable until now. The S2 eval is designed to analyze how athletes see, think, and react to in-game split-second decisions. So how does S2 work? The S2 eval is a 30 to 45 minute sports-specific digital evaluation that measures an athlete's cognitive skills and instincts. The eval is uniquely designed for each sport to capture the split-second decisions made in the game. The S2 score report is automatically generated after the eval, with data that provides a complete picture of the athlete's cognitive skills. These results will unlock opportunities for athletes, coaches, athletic directors, scouts, and general managers. It's time to know your game so that you can build to win.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports. Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Bryce Bestgrove about to go to work here for Ohio as we move along to the second inning. Didn't get to see all that we wanted to out of Landon Eckelberry, and hopefully there's a chance he gets to pitch again as the feature games rolls along. You know, that's an arm certainly a lot of coaches had on their short list. The guys they had to watch here, joined by Kyle Weldon, our Baseball Ohio scouting director. So what is the scouting report here on Bryce Bestgrove, lefty, and as you mentioned, high school teammate of Landon Eckelberry as he goes through his first couple pitches here against Jimmy Sequin?
It's it's gonna be upper 80s. He might go grab a 9 if he gets real jacked up. Fastball, curveball. It's more vertical profile. You can see him kind of get a little bit of lean there, get on top of the baseball, straight over the top slot. So everything he does kind of works on that up and down plane, but had a lot of success this spring for Clay. He's the number 2 in a 1-2 punch with him and Landon for Clay. And obviously both those guys too swung the bat really well, but we're just going to see him throw down here.
Jimmy Sequin at the plate for Michigan. Shooter and I remember talking about Jimmy during one of our Coffee and Curveballs episode. Top-ranked shortstop in Michigan. He's number 3 overall in the class. Runs a 6.7 60 back speed of 102.6. Or EV of 102.6, bat speed of 79 miles an hour. But he winds up as strikeout victim number 1 here for Bestgrove. So it's like, Kyle, I'm just going to constantly give you spoilers as this goes along since you're a couple pitches.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. With a fastball, and did he swing underneath it?
Look like usually, So if something bad happens, I'll try not to get too into it for you. At least
no, you're good. You're going to see, if he misses, he's probably going to be missing above the zone. The fastball kind of takes off, but you're also going to see a bunch of swings and misses underneath it as well. And when he's ready for it, he'll start dropping in the curveball.
There's Adlai Stevenson's Josh Leonard now stepping in with 1 down. Number 13 in the state of Michigan. EV's at 100.1. Miss high from Bestgrove. Leonard among those 2-time junior feature gamers. He's just doing something. I actually got to go bring back Maddie Yates Ashley, who was in here with me earlier from Texas, because we just saw him nod at a pitch as he watched it go right across the plate. So Yates said he doesn't understand why batters do that.
They're I think it's a self-affirmation.
Yeah.
I saw what I think I saw. I agree. Yeah. Let's move on. But yeah, it is a little puzzling sometimes when you see it. It's like, hey, if that's what you saw and that's what you thought, why weren't we swinging?
That's right. They've been listening to Brandon Geyer, so they're giving those positive affirmations.
There you go.
I saw Brandon's got a book out. I'm sure he'll be joining me at some point soon to talk about that one. Another strikeout. That was just a 3-2. I think he got a piece of that one. Looked like it was We're not getting our normal back shot camera here. We're not getting the behind the catcher view, so camera's acting a little bit wonky on us.
I wonder if it's covered in water.
It might be. Payoff pitch to Leonard. Oh, man, that's right up the middle off of Besgrove's glove, and that's into center field. Leonard showing that speed as he rounds first, hiding behind one of the water spots in the camera. So that was pretty tricky of him. So a runner aboard now with 1 out. It's going to bring up Chase Steger. Chase from Novi. Number 22 in the state. Ropes that foul. Besgrove kind of over the top, which is something you don't see too much anymore out of an arm.
Yeah, you see getting a ton of side bend through his delivery to kind of get that arm up there, and that's what makes him so effective up and down the strike zone, is he can really spin the fastball and get it to ride on guys.
When you're watching a guy that's kind of that unorthodox delivery, how crucial is tunneling when you're watching? Because certainly you don't want to completely give away every time you're going to the secondary stuff. But if a guy is going to have an unorthodox delivery like that, does the tunneling aspect have to come into play?
Yeah, you just want to make sure the arsenal makes sense, right? If you're a guy that can really ride the ball and you're not throwing a breaking ball that kind of tunnels the same way, it can be a little puzzling, and you're kind of questioning, okay, has this kid been really taught how his pitches are supposed to work together? But yeah, he's a little unorthodox. He's a big, strong kid, so you can see a little bit of muscle in the delivery. But he's smart. He throws a ride fastball that can get above barrels, and then he'll drop a breaking ball in the same plane and get underneath on guys.
1-2 to Steger. Draws the count even. So now we got him full again. Runner at first, 1 out. Ohio got a 1-0 lead, turning a Derek Ogden walk into a run off of 2 wild pitches. And now we're going to get another ghost runner. So here we go. So then we'll get a reset AB here for Chase Steger. Runners at first and second. So if anything happens, the runs shouldn't count against Besgrove if Steger's willing to give it up. Shoots that into left field. And it's going to be out number 2, so it's just now it's a null and void. But still have runners at first and second.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is to these rules, but guys are getting good looks, and that's what matters.
That's right. So without giving away too much, what are the days like between the end of the future games and that August 1st deadline when the coaches can start calling players for a scouting director? Like, how much are you just fielding calls from coaches kind of get something beyond what they saw at the future games?
I think coaches have done a really good job, in my experience the last couple of years being involved in it. Building these lists before the future games, and when they get to future games, there's not a whole lot of surprises. Now there's some things that guys will have performances that are loud and they get talked about, and then they draw interest from schools that had no idea who they were. But generally speaking, these guys are, especially in Ohio, where guys are getting recruited a ton regionally. They've had some eyes on some of these guys quite a bit. So that little window between when this ends and when the recruiting window opens up on August 1st is a lot of confirmation. Hey, this is what we saw. Is this what it's been, for guys that maybe they haven't seen before? And others just, guys just trying to talk through some things and make sure that, they're seeing what they think they're seeing. But you're just not going to see a whole lot of college coaches pull a trigger on a 3-day look. They're going to want more than that. So that's why these guys work so hard all summer, making sure that by the time we get to future games, if they really like somebody, they're seeing them for the fifth or sixth time, and not, first time seeing them.
Mason Marcy grounds out to the first baseman, stops it with his body, and taps the bag for the inning-ending out. So some runners stranded by Michigan. Ohio still leads 1-0. When we come back, you're watching our game of the day from the 26 future games.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our second baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier products. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with Netting Pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Neela!
But you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Johnny Keevan leading things off here for Ohio a little bit more. Tristan Spencer on the mound here for Michigan. He was only supposed to have one inning, but he's coming out for another one as things got a little bit wonky due to our multiple weather delays. Kyle Weldon on the phone here. New dad stepping in from Ohio.
I apologize if you can hear some cries in the background.
No,
we are
you're good.
approaching the wishing hours. He's transforming into a werewolf and
There
just
you go.
at night. It's just like howling at the moon.
Well, most of us have been there, done that are probably watching this, so you are absolutely fine. So
Johnny Keeman has an older brother. Is at Wright State.
Okay.
Jordan Keeman, who's also a future gamer. Very, very talented family.
Wright State baseball getting on the map these last few years, obviously with Sean Murphy coming up and now being part of the Atlanta Braves, but that's a program that's been on the rise as well.
A tremendous culture of player development and kind of that blue-collar lunch pail carrying feel to them. They do a great job with a specific kind of player, and they recruit to it, and they know what they're good at.
Well, as I have told Sean Murphy that, of course, we grew up saying Wright State, wrong school.
Yes.
A nasty breaking ball from Spencer. It goes down on strikes. Man, I think we're going to have to check. I think Remy Troutner might have worn out the sleeves on this jersey. This guy is put together. 5'9", 190-pounder.
Yeah, if he gets it, it's going to go. He can turn around. He can turn around a fastball.
Remy out of New Albany. My brother lives in New Albany, so I've been there, seen that high school many times.
The Eagles, state champions this year. Big piece of that lineup, hitting the 3 or 4 hole and played shortstop for them.
We were talking earlier about those conversations with coaches about the players heading in that window between the future games and when things open up for the recruiting. Is Troutner's actually going to rope that into right field, and then is going to be caught by the right fielder, so runner will retreat to first. Kyle, what are the conversations like with the players? Because I think the changes in recruiting and the transfer portal, it used to be when a guy got an invitation to the future games, it was a rarity for us to be talking, 3-4 months later that they wouldn't have already committed to a school. But now we're seeing guys, or obviously with the senior future games, we're seeing a lot of these guys where they're going through a lot longer of a process to wait to get that commitment. So how much do you preach patience to these guys after this event's over to help them understand it's not magically just going to happen?
Yeah, it's really tough. Just kind of all the changes and how quickly everything's happened. And it feels like every year something new is kind of looming that keeps college coaches kind of off the gas pedal, if you will, in terms of collecting high school talent. The conversation center around patience. It centers around education, making sure they understand kind of how this process is unfolding, where college coaches are kind of thinking, where their heads are at. And that's a really important part of what we do as scouting directors, is being kind of that conduit between not just for the player to the coach, but from the coaches back to the players, so that these players understand a little bit more on how it's going and can make better decisions on their future based on the environment. This 27 group that was down here for senior future games, there's a lot less of those guys committed right now than in years past for this kind of same cycle. And a lot of that is, the 5-5 was looming. There was a lot of these changes that were kind of hanging over people's heads, and college coaches just weren't sure what was going to happen. So you saw a ton of, a wave of commitments here in the last 3 to 4 weeks, kind of leading into this August 1st window, where schools definitely wanted to, clear their 27 board and be able to focus just on 28s. But shoot, man, there's still a ton of 27s out there that are, talented enough to play, the Division I level certainly, but, every level of college baseball that are going to commit here in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, and it's so wild to think about that 5-5 rule. How many guys now are going to look at that and say, hey, if I'm not playing year one, I'm bouncing. I'm in the transfer portal because I've only got so long to make this thing happen. And that's obviously going to impact the next wave of guys that are waiting to get those commitments and figure out where they're headed. I honestly think it's going to be huge for JUCOs and the D2 and D3 schools when these guys are going to be searching for opportunities, because it's not going to be there for everybody, especially at the Power 4 level. But it's going to have a trickle down effect, and it's.
Oh, I tell you what, man, these GMAC schools in Ohio are cleaning up right now. These Division II programs and even our Division IIIs here. We've got really, really strong Division II and Division III baseball in our state, and they are getting some talented players who 5 years ago I would have said are, mid-major fringe guys that probably Division I caliber players that are now, playing at, Findlay or Ashland, great programs in the GMAC that maybe they wouldn't have had a shot at before, but now they do because this is all just water falling down. Talent is being pushed down, and the way that I put it to players is, hey, man, the burden of proof has never been more on you guys to go prove that you have the ability to play at a certain level. So if you don't like where you're being recruited, or you don't think that you're getting the look that you should be, that means you need to put your nose at the grindstone and work harder and develop more and go prove it.
I wonder how many guys are going to look at a grad year. You think about going to an IMG and just being like, I'm just going to reset the deck and let things kind of sort themselves out. Luke Fairchild rips that into left field, and that's going to be a leadoff hit here for Michigan in the third. But that sort of feels like that's the other part of it. As much as we're talking about a trickle down, if you don't want to go play in those smaller schools and you think that you're a Power 4 guy, or you think that you're a mid-major D1 guy, that grad year, that could be an open window for him as well.
For sure. And you're seeing a lot of guys kind of go that route where they go to an IMG or a different, academy style for a year. And and then get their window started. But yeah, it's the wild, wild west right now. There's no doubt about it. With the portal, with NIL, with 5-5 now. I mean, it's much different than what it was 5 years ago. It is just way, way slower. Way slower.
Well, you were not seeing double. That was the exact same play playing out as Jackson Leastock follows that hit from Fairchild. So back-to-back singles into left field. So we're seeing Vesgrove a little bit better the second time around. It's going to bring up Maxim Nishoff. And this guy is tooled out to the gills out of Brother Rice. 5'9", 180-pound switch hitter. Second-ranked outfielder in Michigan, number 2 overall in the class. He runs a 6'7", has an EV north of 100 miles an hour, bat speed is 73, outfield velo of 91, and he runs it up to 85 on the mound. This 23 junior future gamer ready to make some noise watching back-to-back singles from Michigan. And some pressure on Vesgrove, got a 2-0 count. Looks at it now 3-0. Looked like it was going to be a strike. That's 3-0. I have a different vantage point. I'm allowed to call them strikes from back here. There's strike one. Makes it 3-1. So you're allowed to play commissioner of college baseball. How do you fix this thing?
Oh, jeez. I don't get paid enough to make that decision. I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is. I mean, I think Major League Baseball is starting to look at college baseball as more of a development pipeline.
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing so much conversation around kind of limiting what can happen in the draft. I don't think the Players Union would ever let it go through, but it's certainly why the conversation has turned that way, is they're recognizing the amount of resources in college baseball and you know, honestly, the financial benefit of forcing those colleges and universities to develop the players that are eventually going to come to them, right? So it takes some player development burden off of Major League Baseball. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. All the rules changes. I think I am for NIL. I think it's great for players to be able to capitalize on their talents and their skills. They work really hard to do it. So I've got nothing against that. It's created this capitalistic marketplace now where, you know, like I said before, the burden of proof is now, you know, on the player more than it ever has been.
So Nishoff makes it back-to-back-to-back singles into left field, and we are now tied up at 1-1 as we now turn it over to Chase Atkins. Atkins fouls that one back. C.J. Nikowski, who I worked with covering the Braves for a while, I saw a tweet from him shortly after those rumors came out that was going to be the ask from MLB to the Players Union, was that they start putting more of the burden on the college programs by removing high school players from the draft. And, you know, he said these college coaches are expected to win games, not to develop a kid. And, you know, he talked about having to pitch, you know, multiple days in a row, or being, you know, asked to come up to get yourself ready to pitch in multiple days in a row. And just, if a guy's coaching for his job, it's completely different than a guy that's coaching to develop a player to move them up to the next level of a farm program. It just seems like it sounds great, but I just think the mechanics of it are just from that end of it, I just don't see it ever making sense. And plus, there's also the side that is now 4 straight singles going into left field as Atkins does the same thing to make it 2-0. So they are wearing out the left side of this outfield. But you're not going to get the international players aren't going to. That's not going to go away. You're still going to be able to sign a kid when he's 16 years old at the international
side. Yeah, that's the
side
holdup. I think.
Yeah,
I think most people are going to have on that is, hey, we're forcing kids from the U.S. to wait, and meanwhile we're drafting 16-year-olds out of the international pool. So, I don't ever see it going through, but. 10 years ago, we didn't think NIL was ever going to be a thing.
That's true. I will stand by the fact that I think when they do these negotiations, as the baseball CBA is going to expire after this season, That one's right back to Bestgrove. Goes a second. Oh, the throw's going to be high. That's going to go into center field, and that's going to be a third run for Michigan, spoiling everything for Kyle on the phone there. You might want to look away on that moment. But, it's just a situation where I think they throw the wildest things out there so that when they do come to the negotiation table, they can say, well, we'll take that off the table, but let's go. You got to give me this other concession. I just think they try to get as wild as they can. So, maybe the things they really
put things
want.
in there that you're willing to bend on purpose.
That's right.
Not a bad negotiating tactic.
Try that. I'm going to start trying that at home. Tyson Lindy loses the handle on the bat there. I'm just going to throw out these wild things, that we're going to do, but maybe then I'll end up getting what I really want. So
there you go.
Well, tomorrow's my wedding anniversary, so I might have to try it for that one. So maybe get a little fogo to chow. Well, I'll tell her that we're going to go to McDonald's, and she'll say, I don't want to go to McDonald's, and then I'll go where I really want to go for dinner.
I love that. Barry's lead.
All right, Lindy's refound his bat, so hopefully this time he can hold on to it. That's got to be like the worst feeling for one of these guys. It's slick out there. We saw runner caught at second for Ohio. One of the things that we always see here at LakePoint Sports is after it rains, the guys who play here all the time understand it, but you're going to slide right over top of that base when this turf gets slick.
No doubt. I mean, it's, a lot of turf fields up here in Ohio. Like, these kids know how to play on turf, and you hate to see somebody not kind of stay in the moment enough to emphasize, hey, hold the bag, start your slide early. But, yeah, it's a big stage, and the game gets sped up on you at times. Understandable. These kids are learning how to process this.
The only turf we had when I was growing up was at the University of Dayton, and it was like AstroTurf, and you'd stand on it and it'd be like 120 degrees no matter what the weather was. The big deal for us, I remember and growing up in Bellefonte, we got crushed red brick infield, and that was like we were now like professionals.
Hit the big time.
Yeah. Now that's slumming it.
Yeah, you're seeing a ton of high schools finally get the funding around to put turf in, and ultimately, it saves you in the long run. Get more games in the spring. It's a wet state in the months of March and April.
So, don't know how old you are, but did travel baseball in its current form exist when you were coming up in Ohio?
I graduated in high school in 2007.
Okay, so
it was there. It just wasn't as prolific, I guess, as it is now. Now it's, there's a million teams. Back then it was, if you were in Cincinnati, there were really like 4 kind of real options for you, and that was about it. Now it's, there's a lot more than that.
Well, I played Acme baseball. That's like all we had.
They just had the Acme Congress Championship last week, I believe.
That's all we had.
Kalida.
To us, travel baseball was like 20 miles away.
Yeah.
That was a business trip.
Back in those days, it was CABA and NABF and all these other organizations that were running their own tournaments and their own circuits, and it's gotten more condensed now, I think, in terms of like where you're going to go and play. And obviously, prep baseball has been a massive part of kind of restructuring the way summer baseball is going to look, and it definitely did not exist in this form when I was coming up.
So a wild pitch results in another run. Michigan now up 4-1 here in the third, and we get a courtesy runner for Tyson Lindy. So he's going to get a reset count. Bestgrove comes
I'm not sure what his pitch count is, but I would not be shocked at a rolled inning here soon.
So Bestgrove has now thrown 51 pitches. Comes this 0-1 to Lindy. Lindy ropes that right to the shortstop, flips to second for 1 out. They go to first. They cannot get the double play, so a runner will be at third. It looks like it's going to roll the inning. So Bestgrove, after 52 pitches, watches Michigan score 4 runs in the third inning. It'll be 4-1 when we come back from the feature games.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our second baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier product. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with Netting Pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Kyle Weldon with you. Michigan leading 4-1 over Ohio in our game of the day from the feature games. Grady Cairns at the plate here for Ohio. The new pitcher is Jimmy Sequin. The scoreboard says Jimmy Sequin the second, but this is actually Jimmy Sequin the third, so his dad is not actually pitching in this game. That would be aged out of the future games. Sequin's got a fastball around 90.2, changeup set 77 to 79, curveball 76 to 77, and a slider in that same range. Got a 3-0 count against Cairns, makes that 3-1. Cairns out of Dublin, Jerome.
A couple Jerome kids on the roster. Strong sophomore class there last year, rising juniors.
And Dublin Coffin as well. So you guys, Holden Wilcox, a late ad for you guys in this one, but pretty nice to be able to late add the 16th ranked player in the state.
Yeah, we were kind of slow played Holden quite a bit because he was dealing with some arm stuff at the beginning of the summer, and we just hadn't really been able to see him healthy. So initially we said, hey, we're gonna pass right now, just so that we don't put him in a spot where, his arm's not ready. And then, he got healthy faster than we anticipated. So when we had a roster spot open up, it was a no-brainer to add him.
Hey, he's now at the plate, so we can look at Holden Wilcox out of Dublin Kaufman. I can't help but think of Brady Quinn whenever I see Dublin Kaufman.
Oh yeah.
Wilcox fouls off the first pitch and being aggressive. 6 foot, 169 pounder, bats left, throws right.
Good mover on the infield. He's not going to pitch down here, but really, really clean delivery, clean arm on the mound as well. And when he's fully healthy, I expect guys will be looking at him as a two-way at the mid-major level and potentially higher if the right team sees him on the right day.
He's got a 1-2 count here against Sequin. Goes down on strike. Sequin 85.9 gets him for the second out of this inning. I'm getting some like Hit Dogs vibes from these uniforms for Ohio, by the way. Did you have any input whatsoever on what these look like?
No, but we got, I think, 7 of them on the roster, so it was just happened to line up that way. And yeah, trust me, I've been hearing about that one.
I liked it. I'm trying to remember how long ago this was, where they were more like whatever the dominant school was in each state, that it was the colors of that school. And
interesting.
And then we flipped, and then it was black. I don't know if you were here the year everyone wore black and white, which was impossible.
Yeah, I like those. I wasn't here for that year, but I watched obviously see the pictures of it, and they're really sharp, but I can imagine that was a headache.
Oh, man. When we would walk through the concourse trying to look onto the fields and see who was out, we had no idea. I mean, everybody had a black one and a white one, and they would, go back and forth on them, but we literally had no idea what we were looking at. But I think they look good this year. It's just it's just hard for me to not see Hit Dogs. I've seen so many Hit Dogs games over the last month and a half to see that within these Ohio
some talented
uniforms.
groups at this age level too.
So here's Thomas Barnhart. Shout out to Thomas and his dad. Again, saw them at QT getting ready yesterday for a workout day out of West Union. I told him he was going to have to figure out how to get Jacob Grichelle to talk, because that is a feat in its own.
Yeah, speak softly, carry a big stick, and he certainly hits the ball hard.
He sure does. Hey, you know what? He's going to have to get used to it. Jacob's going to have a lot of attention on him over the next couple of years. So,
no doubt.
Had him here in studio with me, and he's a man of few words, but that'll change, I'm sure. It's now 2-0 here to Barnhart.
Some busy days coming up.
I can't imagine what it's like for these kids. Barnhart pops that up. That's on its way to left field. Shortstop on the run. Camps underneath it. That's going to bring an end to the inning. Michigan still leading 4-1. But I can't imagine what it's like these next few days for these guys. I mean, obviously it has to sort of feel like Christmas. But just the anticipation, and you've waited so long, and kind of your journey is getting to this point where you know everything is possible. It just has to be so much cooler than for those kids that were back committing when they were in 8th grade, when they had no idea what they wanted to do with their lives except for put something on their social media accounts that they had committed to a school. But these guys, the work, the long rides, the practices, the dedication for the parents to have everything kind of come to a head over the next couple weeks just has to be such a surreal experience.
No doubt, and trying to manage your phone through that process it certainly grows you up pretty quick. Trying to hold yourself accountable to make sure you're returning calls and texts and staying on top of it all.
We have a new arm stepping in for Ohio. We're going to take a quick break. We'll rejoin you from the 2026 Future Games, our game of the day between Michigan and Ohio.
The success of every athlete depends on their instincts and split-second decision-making skills. S2 Cognition delivers the leading digital evaluation that is scientifically validated to measure these cognitive abilities that have been unquantifiable until now. The S2 eval is designed to analyze how athletes see, think, and react to in-game split-second decisions. So how does S2 work? The S2 eval is a 30 to 45-minute sports-specific digital evaluation that measures an athlete's cognitive skills and instincts. The eval is uniquely designed for each sport to capture the split-second decisions made in the game. The S2 score report is automatically generated after the eval, with data that provides a complete picture of the athlete's cognitive skills. These results will unlock opportunities for athletes, coaches, athletic directors, scouts, and general managers. It's time to know your game so that you can build to win.
Our action continues. Michigan and Ohio in the 2026 Future Games. Cory McCartney, Prep Baseball, Ohio Scouting Director Kyle Weldon. We have our third arm of the game stepping in for Ohio, Seth Maybury. So Maybury out of another Stephen Baden player, 4th-ranked righty in Ohio. The fastball says 87. Are we going to see him get a little bit closer to 90 in this appearance?
I think he'll sit 84 to 87, somewhere in that range. He may go up and grab an 89. I haven't seen a 9 from him yet, an 89 or a 90 yet from him, but it's a 4-pitch guy for strike thrower with just a high-level changeup, a ton of pitchability. He played his first 2 seasons at Moeller. He was one of Moeller's top arms this year as a sophomore, transferring to Baden for the upcoming year.
Wow. Why would you leave that monster?
Well, Baden is also a monster. State champions this year, and, they put out a ton of talent. Just had a first rounder drafted out of Louisville and Lucas Moore. They put out some great players in the last 5 to 10 years.
I think
coached by Brian Treadway.
I think you just hear that Moeller name, and it's kind of hard not to get caught up in everything that goes with that. I remember talking to Zion Theopolis just about being kind of like holding everything up, and he's like, you walk around and you see these jerseys and hear all these stories, and it's kind of like you gotta, there's just a standard there that you feel like you gotta uphold.
No doubt. I mean, it's a super deep program, deep roster. Reggie Watson, great example. Louisville commit, standout last year at Future Games. Came off of a JV year to come down and play in Future Games last year. That's a kid that any other school in the state, is their starting shortstop on varsity. Guys can kind of take that one way or the other, right? And I think in Mayberry's case, he definitely wants the two-way. And I think, being a PO on varsity this year, he's just looking for something different.
Mick Smead at the plate from Constantine High School in Jones, Michigan. First-ranked catcher in Michigan, 6th overall. He's the 29th ranked catcher in the nation. Pop times to 196, 82 catcher velo. EV's north of 105. 6'3", 215 pounds. Maybury misses. That's going all the way to the wall, and the runner will advance to third. All right, so you being a Cincinnati guy, what is the best ride at Kings Island?
Tell you what, I just took my nephew there like a month ago. Maybe 2 months ago. I am a sucker for the old ones, man. You Son of Beast, the Beast, which is still around, was definitely the most thrilling because you feel like at any moment you could fly right off the tracks. It's one of the oldest wooden roller coasters in the country. But the new ones are good too. Orion and some of those Diamondbacks, some of those big ones. I grew up in Mason, which is where Kings Island is. Grew up to the fireworks. We'd be able to see them from our backyard every night on the weekends.
Yeah, I know you remember the King Cobra ride that you had to stand up on. Remember that one? So, my first trip as a kid to Kings Island, we were standing in line to ride King Cobra, and it stopped with the people starting to go upside down. And my parents decided we were not going to ride King Cobra.
Yeah, I imagine that would make me turn around in line pretty quick.
Harrowing experience.
Quick.
We spent most of our time at Cedar Point, so they were.
I've actually never been.
Really?
Never been.
My parents grew up with Cedar Point. They're originally from Northwest Ohio, so we would go to Kings to Cedar Point a couple times a year. Well, I can't believe you've never been there before. That's
Yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, never made it up there.
So ground out for out number 2. We got Jackson Reinhardt. Jackson is the last batter in the order. I bet most of these kids haven't batted 13 to 15 players in a lineup since they were 12 years old.
Yeah, it's good. It's good they roll the lineups each game, so you don't, you're not stuck down there the whole weekend. But I'd say probably a different experience for them, one they haven't had in a while.
Reinhardt out of Edwardsburg, Michigan. 6'3", 190-pounder, playing right field to start off this game. Ball on the field from another game, so he's kind of par for the course here at LakePoint.
This first game every year is always a little, you're seeing guys get the nerves out. It's always a little wonky.
Yeah, I was talking, mentioned Yates Ashley from Texas that was in here, top-ranked lefty in Texas, joined me in studio before the game today. And, he said those first couple pitches, man, he was just like trying to settle himself. Because he said you find it after the first batter or so, you're good to go. He said, but just those first couple pitches, when you look back there and see all those coaches, you're like, you can hear about it, people can try to prepare you for it, but the reality of it, he said, is just it's a completely different animal.
Yeah, you find out who's got the stomach for it and who doesn't for sure.
But as I think it was Brett Harrison was talking to me about this yesterday. He's had coaches say, look, if the guy can't handle this, he's not going to be able to handle the ACC or the SEC.
No doubt. It's a great litmus test for these guys that, are being considered for those programs, and coaches want to get down and they want to see guys in high pressure environments because, you look at a summer schedule and there's really not a ton of high pressure situations. You kind of have to go see that in the spring in a playoff atmosphere. To try to see them in that environment. So this is a great supplement at the end of the summer to kind of, all right, let's see how these guys do when there's 200 coaches behind home plate.
So an infield single gives us runners at first and second as Flipwater steps in for the second time. Flip pops the first pitch up. Short underneath it. Inning is over. 2 stranded by Michigan. They lead 5-1 when we come back from the future games.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our second baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier product. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with Netting Pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
We got Parker, Alex, Knox, Brenning, and Colt Ward. So numbers 11, 12, and 13. That's the bottom of the order here for Ohio. As we are on to the bottom of the fourth inning, Jimmy Sequin, the third, out for another inning of work. Michigan leading 5-1. They've got 6 hits in this ball game, and I don't want to tell you how many hits Ohio has because that would be jinx territory. Or maybe I should jinx it, Kyle. Maybe that's
yeah.
what
Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Yeah, sure.
Counting out 2-2 here to Alex. You mentioned multiple Dublin Jerome players. Parker out of Dublin Jerome, 5th-ranked catcher in Ohio, 26th overall. He goes down on strikes to start off the inning. Have to get another look at him later. And that's one of the bat speeds that you have to do a double take on. 89.5 is on his profile.
Oof.
Knox Brenning from Olentangy Liberty. We had Olentangy Liberty down here a couple years ago for a spring break experience.
Switch hitting catcher, utility guy. He's also going to throw the last inning of this one. Had him up to 89. I think he grabbed the 90 a couple times this spring.
And you got to love a switch hitting catcher who runs a 6'8".
Mm-hmm. You'll see him behind the plate this weekend and also get out and play some third, play some outfield.
I just feel like for whatever reason, this generation of catchers is just so much more athletic than in the past. Just like seems like you see so many guys now that can run, sub 760s. It's just like a norm for guys.
Yeah, we've seen that in this class more than our classes before. We got guys that they're catchers, but they're also legitimate outfielders, or they can go out and they play corner infield position and play it well. Just more dynamic athletes.
And doesn't that make it that much easier for a college coach? I remember talking to Hunter Carnes, now at Florida State, was a late round draft pick, a Prep Baseball All-American 2 years ago. We were on the same flight to the Prep Baseball All-American game. And he was a high school catcher and then gets to Florida State, and they very quickly said, "No, buddy, you're an outfielder."
Yeah. Yeah, it's catch-22. If you're a catcher, you may not want to coach to know that you can play another position because you want to stick back there. But there's only so many guys that can do it at a high level, and there's a lot of nuance back there.
What positions you play at Miami?
I was a first baseman and left fielder. Throw left-handed, so kind of limited my options a little bit.
Well, I'm a lefty too, so I feel your pain.
Mm-hmm. Just got to hit enough if they can't take you out of the lineup.
Brenning drives that one all the way to the wall. Is that going to be... Man, got himself backtracked, gone. Knox Brenning from Olentangy Liberty goes 94.8 off the bat. And Kyle, we jinxed it correctly. Ohio's now got their first run to the ball game, their first hit of the game. It's now 5-3. Knox Brenning goes yard. A big moment for the 10th ranked player in the state of Ohio.
It's a great swing by Knox and showcasing what he does really well, which is he doesn't try to elevate, but he can catch a ball and backspin it, and you can see the carry there on that to continue to go and get out. With switch hitters, it's tough when you see them and you don't like the left side as much as you like the right, because a majority of their at-bats are going to come against right-handed pitching, but Knox is one of those guys that really think his left-handed swing is a tick more advanced than the right side, so plays really well for what's going to come.
I always find it fascinating to talk to guys that are switch hitters to see if they're a different player from one side of the plate to the other. I mean, I've had even guys like, Ozzie Albies tell me, "Oh, I'm not the same guy from one side to the other," and it's like, it sort of feels like, then why do you do it? If I mean, not to be like, but you sort of wonder, like, if you feel like you're that much better, you're more dominant from the other side, then why negate what you're capable of at the plate just to play a favorable matchup?
No doubt. I think just at a certain point, maybe it's, the risk of switching back, and now I got to see, arm side, same side breaking balls, and the adjustment that would require to, am I going to be as good, left-handed against left-handed pitching if I solely focus on hitting left-handed.
This is Caleb Williams from Lebanon, and he goes down on strikes. That's out number 2. Back now. So, we're going to bring Colt Ward. All right, we've got one more hitter to go. So Williams slid in. He was... So we just slid another guy into the order. You can do that at future games.
Hey, whatever you want to do. Nothing is off limits. except throwing guys more than 2 innings. You're not allowed to do that.
Okay. We did have that. So I was in studio with Sean Duncan, and we had this kid from Nevada that ended up hitting 90. He was an outfielder, and he told Brett he wanted to pitch, and they had a guy that was scratched that was supposed to start. So they went with this kid. He ended up pitching 3 innings. He got a UCLA commitment out of it and hit 90 for the first time, but he was primarily an outfielder.
That works.
This is Colt Ward from Defiance, 18th ranked player in Ohio, 23 junior feature gamer.
Big 6'3", left-hand hitting catcher. Those don't come around all the time.
He's a rocket, 100.1 off the bat, and that is dribbling into center field for Ohio's second hit of this game and second of the inning. So getting to Sequin here late in the 4th inning. Now we're back to the top of the order and Jake Coling.
You certainly get a lot of time to sit around and think about your at-bat in this situation with how big these lineups are.
So Jake Coling from William Mason High School. So has he heard stories of your exploits then in high school?
Known Jake a long time. Trained his brother. Trained him for a while too. But no, I typically don't get into it too much unless somebody's asking about it.
Jake is number 24 in the state, 5'8", 145-pounder, bats left, throws right, 2-time junior feature gamer. And to keep the chain going from Ohio here, now trailing by 2 runs in the 4th. How have you watched the player progress then to the point where we're looking at him being a feature gamer?
It's always been a extremely athletic kid who can do things on a baseball field that you just don't see out of a lot of players. The dynamic playmaking ability in the middle of the infield. But to watch his offensive game kind of grow, and you may not see it here in future games, but he can really handle the bat in terms of, laying bunts down and forcing pressure on defenses. That's the kind of player that you're going to win games with. And that's not always evident in every player that you watch, but it just jumps off the page with him. He's a spark plug type of player that can ignite a lineup and keep an offense kind of rolling.
Yeah, nobody comes to the feature games to bunt.
No, you're probably not going to see it. He may flash it just to show that he can do it, but he wants to drive the ball, and he's got some juice to his pull side if he gets to it. But definitely a line-to-line spray type of guy that's just going to compete in his at-bats and make it difficult for pitchers to get him out.
All right, well, so you're he's a couple of seconds behind me, so I'm going to let you watch what he just did. So he did sow some of the juice there, 81.8 off his bat, but get a little bit too aggressive. You might try to do that in the future games, try to leg that out and get yourself to third, but I'm not going to do that in a game. A little bit too aggressive. They're only being that aggressive because you're not there, right? You would not have told him to go third.
Yeah, I'm a couple pitches behind. He's still up right now.
All right. Well, we're going to keep with you. So I want you to see this moment. Meanwhile, we got Maybury coming out for his warm-up pitches as we're real-time here. 5-4 ball game is...
Well, there's the line-to-line. Yeah. I respect the move. Try to get an extra one on the backside of that play.
Well, at least
there's talented players all over the field. It's a different level here at future games where everybody that you're playing against is, the best in their state.
That's right. Well, he gets another run across anyway. We have a 1-run ball game. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back as our game of the day rolls along from LakePoint Sports. Timmy Clary, Josh Leonard, and Chase Steger are due up for Michigan in the 5th inning. Ohio plating 3 in the bottom of the 4th to turn this into a 1-run ball game. They got 3 hits in that inning. Seth Maybury out for a little bit more action. He's thrown now 22 pitches. I think the expectation now that we maybe see 2 innings out of Oppenheimer now that we're picking up for Eckelberry having a shorter day than expected?
I could do that. I would prefer them to probably go with Brenning for 2. But yeah, we'll see.
Now a 3-1 count here to Clary. 6 hits in this ball game for Michigan. Clary, 23rd ranked player in the Wolverine State. I did like, by the way, on social media how you put the X over Michigan for today.
Yeah, it's just kind of a Ohio tradition.
That's right.
If you refer to the state up north, that you X out all the M's.
That's in for a strike. So we do have our ghost runner at first. Michigan has kind of piecemealed together this lead. No real explosive moments thus far. Really just going with a parade of singles and working their way into this lead, taking advantage of some pass balls. Big blows come from Knox Brenning hitting a home run. Part of that 3-run 4th for Ohio. You got a 1-2 count now here to Clary. As much as you, Kyle, try to keep tabs on this future game squad as he gets him down on strikes, there's out number 1. And trying to stay up on the guys here for the senior future games and the junior future games, how difficult is this situation for you trying to keep up on all of it from afar?
Well, we brought down a great staff, guys that have been with us all summer and most of the winter. And those guys are awesome at funneling information to where it needs to get to so that I'm able to stay up with what's going on. So I just, shout out to them. They do a great job of knowing what to look for and communicating kind of how things are unfolding, who they're liking, which guys are really showing well. So I'm also getting bombarded with texts from college coaches about guys too. So that's always a great way to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening because, the guys I'm getting texts about I know are doing well. And, our guys are covering too on our own socials. So I get to see those updates as well.
Leonard shoots that into left field. It's going to be caught for the out. Runner will retreat to first. When I had Brett in here yesterday when we got done, he said he had 50 text messages from guys checking out his players during workout day. So I know this is a wild few days for you guys. So again, I appreciate you joining us during this bigger event in your life for you to take a few moments out and stay with us through this one, along with everything that's going on with all the players that you have down here.
No, this is about as connected I could possibly feel right now in this, not without physically being there. So I appreciate you having me on.
Chase Steger watches ball 1 from Maybury. He's now thrown 32 pitches. When we see the innings roll, kind of take us inside the thought process. At what point do you guys say, all right, let's roll? Is it pitch count? Is it situational lead? Do both those things come into play?
Yeah, we've got there is a general rule, and I don't know how strictly everybody follows it, but six batters or 30 pitches, whichever comes first, is kind of when you're supposed to roll it. I don't know if it happens that way every single time an inning gets rolled, but I know certainly last year that's what we tried to adhere to.
That's got to be so hard to do though when these guys only get so much of an opportunity, especially if they're not a two-way guy, that they may not get that opportunity again.
No doubt, but 30 pitches is a good amount to showcase what you got. Generally, once you get past that 30 mark, you're not seeing a whole lot of increase in output. So, and you start talking about guys getting into a territory like, hey, this workload is too much for this inning, and we want to make sure that everybody stays healthy down there.
Full count now here to Steger. Got a runner at first, 2 down in the inning. Next pitch for Mabry will be 37.
I should say 30 per inning. So these POs will get, if they maxed out both their innings, they would end up throwing 60 pitches in 2 innings, which that's a pretty big number.
Yeah. So I believe we are going to get another. Yeah, here comes another courtesy runner. So have a reset count here for Steger. Runners now at first and second. Pumps that in for a strike. That is 74 miles an hour. Well, if you get bored over the next few days, I'm doing about 20 hours in total between Tuesday and Sunday. I'll have the Junior Feature Games championship game on Sunday as well. So,
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I don't know how in depth I'll be able to get about not from Ohio, but
hey,
that is one part of this is we get hyper localized, right? So you really get to know your state really well, and you could ask me about a guy from 20 miles away in Kentucky, and I've never heard his name before.
Hey, well, if I can figure out how to meander my way through it, you can too. All right, we're through another half an inning. We'll be back. 5-4 lead for Michigan over Ohio in our game of the day from the Feature Games.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Nila!
But you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Jacob Grishel going to lead off the inning here for Ohio. He's be followed by Derek Ogden and Jackson Vondershar. Grishel, the top-ranked player in the state of Ohio.
I got a shorter version of Trey Turner comp on.
Yeah, I like that.
A high-waisted, flies around the field. Really easy bat speed.
Baseball is made for comps, right? I just feel like other sports, you can do them, but they don't feel as natural. Baseball comps are just like, that's part of the deal.
Yeah, and you know, you start watching it year after year after year, it gets a lot easier to make those comps.
Derek Ogden is right on top of the plate. This from Koski, new pitcher in for Michigan, Carmino Koski from Allen Park. 15th ranked player in the state. Fastball up to 85. 4-pitch mix. And Miss going to run it to 3-0. A little lagginess in our cameras here, so apologies. Now 3-1, despite what the scoreboard said, he did call a strike. There's a strike. Yeah, I mentioned we'll be doing the Junior Future Games Championship on Sunday. I know, Kyle, that the kind of complexity around things with the juniors has changed, where the coaches aren't going down there to watch them like they used to before the recruiting rules changed. But I don't know about from your guys' perspective, but getting a group of kids, because every time I talk to guys who have been to the Future Games, I would say, okay, what'd you think of it? How was it? And they always say, man, we all walked away from that saying, if only we could play a tournament together. And the fact that you get the juniors can actually do that and try to walk out of here as champions is such a cool, underrated part of this. Because, like I said, all those guys were like, man, I feel like we would dominate a tournament if we could roll out with this squad.
Yeah, we've heard that at every level of this, not just with the Junior Future Games, but with our 27s last year, there was a couple mentions of that. Like, man, if we could just get this group together for a whole summer, it'd be a lot of fun. But no, it is a cool aspect of the juniors is them playing a bracket style and getting to see them compete in that kind of setting.
Derek Ogden goes RBI double. We have a now 5-5 ball game. Ohio scoring 3 runs in the 4th inning. They have now tied this thing up. They led 1-0 after 1 and watched Michigan take a 5-1 lead. They have bounced back big time.
That was a heck of a no-hitter, Jinx, Corey.
We did the thing. Well, I didn't actually say that they didn't. I just said,
It's a good point.
Yeah. I alluded to it. Runner taken off. Vandersar drops that into left field, and then we are going to have a 6-5 lead for Ohio as he goes 100.9 off the bat and another extra base hit. Now 3 in this ball game from the boys from Ohio. And Kyle, they have turned it on, man. They have found their groove in the middle part of this ball game.
It's like we said in the beginning, right? The first game of the weekend's always a little wonky, and it takes guys a minute to get comfortable. But the beauty of this style of tournament or showcase is that you're bringing down really talented players, and it's only a matter of time before they start to show what they're capable of.
Well, Andrew Oppenheimer then tries to keep the good times rolling. Wild pitch. Runner will advance to third. Oppenheimer's 0 for 1. Now 5 hits in this game for Ohio. And we talked about the excitement around the Junior Future Games a couple of years ago. Well, that one's going to go down the right side. That's 97.7. Did he make the catch on it? He did not. So another hit for Ohio. A wild throw. No, I guess he did. We're going to roll the inning now. Nope. They said he caught that. Didn't look like he caught that. Runner certainly didn't think he caught that, but that's out number 2. So Oppenheimer's out, but still have a 7th run crossing for Ohio. So they have taken control of this ball game. But 2 years ago, we had a torrential downpour, and they decided just to not play the championship game, and they just gave it to the team that had the better record the higher, more runs scored during pool play, and they got Oakley's. So you can imagine the opposing team that did not get Oakley's was not very happy. They didn't get to play a ball game, and they had to watch the other team leave with sunglasses.
High stakes here at Junior Future
That's
Games.
Right. Johnny Kievman now at the plate with 2 down. Ohio has scored 3 more runs in this inning to take a 7-5 lead. I haven't quite got the mechanics down of it yet, but I guess we're going to do a player of the game and a pitcher of the game. So one of them is going to be joining me here in studio after the game. So excited for that. Now a 1-2 count here on Kievman. Koski has innings 5 and 6 for Michigan. They have Evan King taking the 7th and 8th. Oppenheimer expected to be the next pitcher for Ohio. Swing, miss, goes down on strikes, but Ohio strikes big time. 3 more runs. They've taken a 7-5 lead when we come back from the feature games.
The success of every athlete depends on their instincts and split-second decision-making skills. S2 Cognition delivers the leading digital evaluation that is scientifically validated to measure these cognitive abilities that have been unquantifiable until now. The S2 eval is designed to analyze how athletes see, think, and react to in-game split-second decisions. So how does S2 work? The S2 eval is a 30 to 45-minute sports-specific digital evaluation that measures an athlete's cognitive skills and instincts. The eval is uniquely designed for each sport to capture the split-second decisions made in the game. The S2 score report is automatically generated after the eval, with data that provides a complete picture of the athlete's cognitive skills. These results will unlock opportunities for athletes, coaches, athletic directors, scouts, and general managers. It's time to know your game so that you can build to win.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
Our action continues. Andrew Oppenheimer now on the mound for Ohio, and he's got Mason Marcy, Luke Fairchild, and Jackson Lestock due up for Michigan here in the top of the 6th inning. Oppenheimer with that long leg kick, almost like a swooping leg kick.
Yeah, he kicks it out a little bit.
When a guy's got that kind of a wind, how much does this stuff change for him then when he goes to the stretch?
Well, it certainly plays with your timing of your arm a little bit, and just how drawn out the delivery can get. But in Oppenheimer's case, it's pretty similar once he goes to the stretch.
3-0 count here to Marcy. And the count will reset, and we'll get another ghost runner for Michigan. I think they definitely are way up on you guys in the ghost runner department.
Yeah, we've walked a few. Oppenheimer, command-wise, this summer has been kind of up and down. He's one of those guys that the upside's there, and there's certainly some arm strength, and if he can get it dialed in, it's a really interesting two-way potential guy. But yeah, the bat's been kind of his main thing this past 6 months or so.
When you would have those conversations with him then, or if you're going to have any conversations with him about what it looks like at the next level, do you try to get a guy like that to lean one way or the other, or do you tell him, listen, if you're patient and you develop the second side of it, here's what it ultimately could be for you?
Yeah, it's like having an ace in your back pocket. In his case, where, man, if you just keep working on it, keep developing, it could be a piece that puts a school over the edge and moves the needle for somebody that maybe was on the fence a little bit. So multiple ways to play it and kind of look at it. It's just what he feels like he's most confident in and what he wants to do.
Throw the runner out at second, trying to be a little bit aggressive. Count now 2-1. Marcy's second count as his first one wound up with a ghost runner that was, we saw, thrown out at second for the first out. He's going to duck out of the way of that one. 3-1. Now he's going to get a real walk, so Marcy's going to have to go down and do it himself. When was the first time you came down here to LakePoint Sports?
It would have been my first year as scouting director, so that would have been 2024.
Okay, so we still had the old turf at that point, right? That was before we got the new
I believe
look.
so, yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
All the fields here were all resurfaced. We took it down right before Christmas that year, and they were done by February. Every one of them was taken down to concrete. They resurfaced every one of them. Geosurfaces came in here and just knocked the entire thing down. I mean, it was literally down to concrete, and they got it all ready for the first high school tournament that we had in February. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty efficient work. It looks beautiful.
Throw gets away.
Played well, too. Played well.
Yeah, the first reactions were just the kids that had been here and the teams that had been here so many times just couldn't believe it. And that previous turf got so hot too. So this one, they were able to put sand underneath it as opposed to the old stuff, and it was just a lot more. It's just been a lot better experience. So the runner advanced off a wild throw. Fairchild's 1 for 1. Of Wixom, Michigan, 17th ranked player in the state, 93.6 EVs. Trying to answer Ohio, having scored 3 runs in both the 4th and 5th inning to lead 7-5. Throw to second, bounces, catches in time. Some slick work at second. Quick hands of Johnny Kievman.
Kievman's had a heck of a summer. He's really starting to tap into his power, and offensively is a really strong piece.
So what was the transition for you then, going from your playing days to getting into scouting, and what was the draw for you to get into the scouting business?
Well, I moved from my playing career into coaching first, and that was, I got my first coaching experience down at IMG before moving back to Cincinnati and focusing at the high school level and also opening up a facility. And the facility side of it really kind of opened doors for me on the scouting side, where I was getting to evaluate a large number of players every year based on who was coming through the building. saw the opportunity when the job came open at Prep, and felt like I had some of the organizational tools to do a great job and represent the state really well. And it's been a fun process.
How long were you at IMG Academy?
I was down there for 4 months, and it was right on the back of I had gotten done playing in the Frontier League. Worked like a normal job in Chicago for like 11 months and said, I can't do this. I got to get back in baseball somehow. And my head coach from Miami was actually directing the baseball department down at IMG, so he brought me down to kind of get an intro into coaching there. And at the end of the summer, I moved back home and started coaching high school ball, and then coached at Mason for 10 years and spent 1 year and went and coached at Miami and Oxford. And then I took this job.
Hard hit ball, that's going to be fair. Michigan's going to get one. Are they going to get more than that? Runner will hold at third. So Fairchild coming through with an RBI double. Eats into that Ohio lead, now down to 1 run.
I just got word on what we're going to do on the pitching standpoint. Thomas Barnhart's going to throw an inning. That's your guy from QT.
There you go. The West Union catcher going to come in. Runs it up to 92. Excited to see that. So where else are you getting breaking news on a broadcast? That's a new one for us.
There you go. Got a text line right into the dugout.
Yeah, I love it. And this from Oppenheimer makes the count 2-1. Lee Stock at the plate is 1 for 1. Well, IMG Academy is certainly a different species of animal down there. What did you pick up on in terms of the way that a player of that ilk carries themselves and kind of just that professionalism at that age?
Well, it was an interesting time period to be there because it was summertime, right? So all the guys that actually attend the school were off doing their own thing. So it was a lot of running camps and doing instruction and kind of learning how to organize a day and plan out station work and a lot of that kind of administrative side of things. That it's actually a really great introduction for me and how to figure out how to be organized and transition from being a player into a coach and an evaluator. But yeah, no, IMG is certainly got its levels in terms of types of players that they have in there, and a lot of those guys are really advanced and go about it a certain way.
Swing and a miss, now 0-2. That one is driven into center field. Makes a stop on it, but here comes another run. We got a tie ball game, 93.8 off the bat of Lee Stock, and he's got an RBI single. We've got the bases loaded now with 1 out. This was to be Flip Waters spot in the order. No, actually, there they go. Now they changed this. Now they changed the scoreboard. They had Flip Waters on there, but this is Max and Nishov. So they tried to give us the number 1 player in Michigan. Now we just have to settle for the number 2 player.
Tough.
Tough situation for Oppenheimer here with the bases juiced. Big bat at the plate that runs it up to a 100.4 EV. Brother Rice. Talking about IMG, we had Brother Rice and IMG were both here for a high school event that we had a few years ago. That was an incredible game. We had Elijah Green playing here for IMG Academy.
That's got to be a fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah,
for
Roman Anthony was here. We had Roman Anthony here for that one. It was wild. Pumps that in for a strike. 1-1. Chops it to first base. They get one out. They get a double play. Got him at second. Brings it into the inning. Nice defensive work there from Ohio to leave the bases loaded. We got a 7-7 game when we come back. 2026 future games from LakePoint Sports.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our second baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier product. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with Netting Pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports. Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
We are back. It's Remy Troutner is going to lead off the inning, followed by Grady Cairns and Holden Wilcox. Our scoreboard got a little bit too excited, but it changed it. This is in the right spot in the order now. Hermino Koski threw 18 pitches in the last inning. Now scoring 3 runs in that frame, and he's now 2 into this one, and they are a 2-0 count here to Troutner. Cory McCartney and Prep Baseball, Ohio scouting director Kyle Weldon, and Troutner pops it up. Shortstop has it for out number 1. And steps Grady Cairns 0 for 1, 35th ranked player in Ohio. Fingers crossed we have avoided any further rain in this ball game.
We got another 8:30 p.m. game tomorrow, so these guys should have plenty of time to get some rest tonight because this one looks to be going pretty late.
11:18 Eastern. Swings through that. Elevated fastball.
Some long days for these college coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the kind of days that make you rethink your career choice.
It is kind of like being at Disneyland, though. Everywhere you look, there's a great baseball player out there.
Count is now 2-1. Yeah, we'll walk around and it's all these little pockets of guys like trying to go off and have these conversations, in quiet, so nobody can hear what they're talking about.
Well, all the regional guys that are following the Ohio team, around all weekend. We got the same schedule as last year with these 2 8:30 p.m. games. I keep getting texts like, "Can you guys get an earlier game at some point?"
Yeah, I don't quite know what the decision was to keep the same schedule as a year ago. When we sat down to figure out our broadcast schedule, that was the first reaction. Was like, wait a minute, these are all the same game times and matchups that we had last year. I would love to see it mix up a little bit more. I know they try to. There's certain states that kind of just get lumped together, but I would love to see it be a little bit more free flowing, maybe almost a little more random in these matchups.
Yeah, from a planning standpoint, it certainly makes like all of our materials that we send out to players and things like that with times and stuff certainly makes our job easier when the schedule is the same. But would like to see a different team across the field from us at some point.
And I'll tell you, I'm sure if you were to ask the boys from Ohio, do you guys want to play Florida? Do you guys want to play Georgia? Do you guys want to play California or Texas? They would say yes.
Oh, they'd be fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Michigan and Kentucky, and then that's sandwiched around Kansas, which is kind of random.
Yeah, we had the 17U National Championship wrapped up on Tuesday, and we had a team come down from Montreal that won that. You talk about guys that were really, really excited to play guys from quote-unquote hotbed talent states.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to prove it, show up and prove it. 2-2 to Wilcox, ropes that to the first baseman and race to the bag. Wilcox showing off some speed, but that's won by the defender. We're through another half an inning, and Michigan now leads 8-7 over Ohio when we come back.
The success of every athlete depends on their instincts and split-second decision-making skills. S2 Cognition delivers the leading digital evaluation that is scientifically validated to measure these cognitive abilities that have been unquantifiable until now. The S2 eval is designed to analyze how athletes see, think, and react to in-game split-second decisions. So how does S2 work? The S2 eval is a 30 to 45-minute sports-specific digital evaluation that measures an athlete's cognitive skills and instincts. The eval is uniquely designed for each sport to capture the split-second decisions made in the game. The S2 score report is automatically generated after the eval, with data that provides a complete picture of the athlete's cognitive skills. These results will unlock opportunities for athletes, coaches, athletic directors, scouts, and general managers. It's time to know your game so that you can build to win.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Neela!
But you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Ashley continues, inning number 7. Jimmy Sequin at the plate. New pitcher for Ohio, Knox Brenning. Knox was originally slated to pitch the 8th, but he's bumped up to the 7th. What's the scouting report on this Olentangy righty?
Fastball, slider primarily, mixing a changeup. It's going to be upper 80s. Depending on how jacked up he is today, may go grab a 9. Just a really competitive kid. Obviously, he does it on both sides of the ball. And his dad is the head coach at Olentangy Liberty, so he fights that coach's kid thing quite a bit. And just every step of the way is showing why he's out there and why he gets the opportunities. And always seems to be in the moment.
Okay, yeah. So I remember Ty Brenning when we had Olentangy Liberty down here. Who was they had 2 big arms on that team.
Parker Van Englenhoven would have been.
Yeah, Parker. Yeah, that kid could deal. I remember we had a moment with him and Connor Essenberg, who's now in the Atlanta Braves system, and Parker hit Essenberg with a pitch, and I mean, Essenberg was down on the ground for and we had to go to a commercial because we were broadcasting the game, and he was down on the ground for seemingly 5 minutes, and he still got back up and continued the AB and ended up almost beating out an infield single off of him. He was like, I was not going to let that dude win that moment. So
that's awesome. Yeah, Drew Hallenstein is the other one.
That's right. Yeah, he was an Ohio State commit, right?
Yeah, he was.
An 0-2 count here to Sequin. It's fouled off. Courtesy runner is going to round second and make his way back to first. Do you keep a short list of the either mentally or physically the best players you've ever scouted?
Mentally, yeah, I don't have a physical list like that. I know we've got our watch list in each class for kind of everything, whether it's a showcase standout, a riser, a guy that we think needs to get moved into the national rankings, future games watch list. We've got our lists, so I can always go back and reference those. But in the last 3 years, have been some pretty talented ones. And I think about guys like Jake Hanley out of Mason, who just transferred to UGA and is going to go down there and play next year. Transferred out of Indiana. Obviously, this Zion Theophilus at LSU was a tremendous player. Matt Pontoski, Jack Ryan, guys like that in this 26 class were supremely talented.
One is popped up sky high. First base has it. Will remain in place at first and second.
Braden Krenzel is the in that 24 class. 24 class was interesting for us because I took the job in January of 24. So, there was only a few months of runway there that I got to see them before they went off to school. So the 25 class was really the first one I got to drill into.
Yeah, we had Braden was a prep baseball All-American our first year in Milwaukee. We were talking to his dad during that, and he said, people hate when I tell them I don't really watch Ohio State football games.
Craig's great. He's got a younger son coming up in the 29 class, and then one after him as well.
Yeah, I remember him telling me that they would just bring an RV down here to Metro Atlanta and just park it because it was made so much more sense for them to kind of have like a central point because they would be down here so much for different events as opposed to trying to get Airbnbs or hotels or whatever. So they have reason.
Yeah, it's interesting too to watch the younger, the middle one. He's a 29, Austin. The delivery, and you overlay it with Braden. It's like copy and paste.
Wow. And Braden doing well for himself at Tennessee.
No doubt.
Still remember his dad throwing that touchdown pass against Purdue to Michael Jenkins.
There's a name.
The 2-1. Jenkins actually lives here in Metro Atlanta. He did have a CrossFit gym for a while. Rennie's now thrown 13 pitches. He's got a 3-1 count here against Hafner. Hafner loops that into center fielder's glove. Runner's going to tag up from third. Slides some wet turf. That was like a slip and slide. So Michigan was credited with the run, by the way, in that inning-ending play at second. So that now gives them a 2-run lead. It's Tyson Lind is now going to step in. Job behind the plate, stopping that from going any further. Well, 11:30, so we are almost destined to push this thing into Friday morning. Waffle House is open 24 hours.
I think we were in a similar boat last year. Game ended up starting late.
Well, to the benefit of everybody here at LakePoint, Waffle House is open 24 hours a day.
There you go. The All-Star Special.
I remember when we got our first Waffle House in Bowling Green, and my fraternity brothers sat outside of it in chairs because they wanted to be the first people so they could get $1 on the wall so that they were the first customers of that Waffle House.
When I moved to Cincinnati in 2000, I was 12 years old. We had Waffle House for the first time and was told to put peanut butter on the waffle. Tell you what, that's a move.
Yeah, there you go. Running with the 2-1 here to Lind. I'm going to make it 3-1.
Scattered command, not typical of Knox, usually in and around the zone.
Right underneath the courtesy runners, Lind is going to signal towards the dugout. Running now 19 pitches, and he'll get a reset count here against Lind. Lind out of Chelsea High School, 12th ranked player in Michigan. 24 junior feature gamer. Got runners now at first and second in a now 1-0 count here against Brenning. Make that 1-1, a little off-speed action. Two runners on, 2-1 count, 2 outs. Michigan up 8-7 here in the top of the 7th. Ooh, it's a glance out of the way of that pitch. Now 3-1. He's going to issue another walk here to Lind. So bases will now be loaded. Turn it over to Nick Smead. Now, Kyle, tough for you, as you mentioned with Oppenheimer, these guys, things not going their way, and for you not to be here to kind of help them out after these situations. What will that process kind of look like for you after this is over with, as you kind of I guess sort of evaluate all these guys and their performances and how you discuss what we saw on the field here today with them?
Well, it's a bad way to evaluate if you're just considering one look. And the good news is, if you go down to future games and you don't show the way that you hoped you'd show, there's a lot of guys that have seen you more than just at future games. So you can take some reassurance in that, hey man, this wasn't the end all be all, and you're going to have a lot of bright days ahead. And don't base your entire outlook on your future in the recruiting process on one outing. So we'll go back through and obviously see who showed really well, who didn't, and kind of advise based on that and give them feedback. But for a guy like Knox, there's a lot of guys that have seen Knox be really good, including us. And yeah, he's not locating the way he normally does tonight, but still showcasing some good stuff and showing the breaking ball. And there'll be some guys that are really interested in it still.
Well, 2 nasty pitches to end that AB. So we're moving on to the bottom of the 7th inning. Michigan's got that 8-7 lead on Ohio when we come back from the feature games.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Nila!
Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
Bottom of the 7th inning, the new pitcher for Michigan is Evan King. King from H.H. Dow High School in Midland, Michigan, 4th ranked player in the state. And a fastball around 87. So I got a change up, curveball. And he's got Thomas Barnhart to start off the inning. Barnhart going to be followed by Parker Alex and Knox Brenning. Ooh, big swing from Barnhart. I don't know about pulled him out of his cleats.
Barnhart hit 6-something this year for West Union.
Wow.
Player of the year in that division. West Union, a really small school on the out east of Cincinnati, out in the open land out there.
Works at him for a strike. Well, as Kyle said, we'll get a chance to see Thomas on the mound in the 8th inning. Goes down on strikes, so now we can go get his mind right for his mound performance here in the 8th. With one down, in steps Parker Alex. King, a fast worker. He might be trying to get us in underneath that midnight window. Now 3-2.
Parker's put on about 30 pounds in the last 12 months. Just exploded physically.
See, when you say explode physically about these kids, it's a good thing. But if you were to do so, in our case, that's a different scenario altogether.
No doubt. I'm trying to go the other way.
That's kind of the funny thing to me is talk to some of these guys about what they eat and just how many calories these guys are putting down. I was thinking, man, if I were to do that, it would be that would not be a positive scenario. I think we got a Shooter Hunt sighting behind the home plate. It's kind of hard to tell, though. Most of the guys that are walking around here have on polo shirts, a hat, and they're all about 6'3", 6'4".
Are you talking about the blue shirt, white hat? 'Cause
Yeah.
that looks dead on here. Yep.
Shooter's too busy to come see me during future games. He'll hang out with me all the time. He comes for other stuff. But he's like, he's got to go Gladhy and everybody and see everything, and
I don't know how he gets any work done
I don't know.
on a weekend like this. He's got like 3 or 4 guys running around the facility telling him where he needs to be.
Yep.
There he goes.
Oh, loses his bat. The exit velo on that bat out of the hands of Parker Alex. There he goes. Is he going to get a different bat now? And he's going to spray it with a little pine tar spray. So how much does the social media savant Alex Stefanelli have to do with you guys still in Ohio? I know he's doing a lot of the stuff for the national side now.
Yeah, he'll do some like one-off stuff, especially as it pertains to like nationally ranked players. But no, not as much anymore.
He's doing a ridiculously good job for the social media.
He's a stud, man. Yeah. He's a stud. The players in Ohio absolutely loved that dude when he was here because of all the content they were getting for their own pages through Steph. Like, we'd post all these multiple slide posts on Instagram, and you'd see it show up on other guys' pages, and guys just love him, man. He's got some baseball feel. He played at Capital, so he knows what he's looking at on both sides of it.
Well, I ran into him in a mall in Columbus on Black Friday, and he was still wearing prep baseball gear. So he's true to the brand.
Never off the clock.
Yeah.
Lives and breathes it. He's a stud. He's an absolute stud.
All right, Parker Alex will continue this AB. Count is 2-1, and he's got his bat back in his hand. Put some stickum on. Now 3-1. There's no way he's taking this walk if he gets ball 4. After all the work he just did to get back in there. Yeah. Ooh, strike 2. Counts now full. Looming in the on-deck circle, Knox Brenning, who hit that home run his last trip to the plate. Well, he is going to take his walk, so they're going to have now at first and second. Brenning homered last time up, part of that 3-run 4th inning.
It's nice to get to see him from the right side of the plate. Get a look at both sides tonight.
Swings through that. It's on its way to the backstop. Runner will advance to third. And he's going to have to go back. And home run he hit on a 1-1 count was 94.8 off his bat. Lays off that elevated fastball. Count now 2-1. Another swing. Makes it 2-2. Two runners aboard for Brenning. Catcher tries to squeeze that one back in. Count's going to be full. And give him a courtesy runner, I'm sure. Yep, he's going to stay put. We get another runner at first. Bases will now be loaded here for Brenning. No doubt, another big moment right here to put Ohio back up, trailing by 1 run here in the bottom of the 7th.
Be a great time for it.
Oh man, that was a hero swing right there. Goes through it though now, 1-1. who watches that one right down the middle. Count now 1-2. He could have asked for a prettier pitch than that one, but watch that for strike two. So big breath from Brenny here. And bases are loaded. One out here in the inning. He's already homered once in this ball game. He gets a hold of that one. Brenning, it's on its way into left center. That one's going to be down. It's going to bounce off the wall. Brenning's got 1 run scoring here for Ohio. Is he going to have 2? He, in fact, does. And Brenning comes through with a 2-run double. And Ohio's now up 9-8 over Michigan. And Kyle, man, this guy is showing out in a big way at the plate tonight.
Yeah, he's a competitor. And this is the kind of moment those guys live for, and be able to leave the yard left-handed and then turn around and put Ohio ahead with a double from the other side of the plate. Just impressive. Jackson
Van der Sar's turn now. 2 aboard still. Ohio now got a 1-run lead with 1 out here in the 7th. This has been Knox Brenning's night. Caleb Williams 0 for 1. Check swing makes it strike 2 and a 1-2 count. This is upstairs, not going to be even. So our scoreboards confuse me every once in a while because it said Van der Sar was on there, then it flipped back to Williams, but he goes down on strikes. So now 2 outs. So now the scoreboard says Oppenheimer, but we're going to roll the inning regardless. So, all right, Ohio's now got a 9-8 lead. You are watching the feature games from LakePoint Sports.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our 2nd baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier product. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with Netting Pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports. Well, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
Achieving your health and fitness goals takes hard work and the right nutrition. That's where First Form can help. Our industry-leading protein supplements can help fuel your journey. Visit firstform.com today and elevate your results.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves around sports.
Everett, Neela!
But you wouldn't trade it for anything. Welcome to Sporthood. DSG, only at Dick's.
We are back, and we are, as Kai Weldon let us in on, going to look here at Thomas Barnhart on the mound. Barnhart was the starting catcher in this game. He's going to finish things off for Ohio in the top of the 8th inning on the mound. He's got Tristan Spencer, Jackson Reinhart, and then the top of the order for Michigan. Should give us another look at Flip Waters.
It's actually worked out pretty nicely because we wanted to have Thomas pitch down here if we could, but didn't have the innings to work it.
He's got a 2-0 count here to Spencer. Does he feel like a two-way to you at the next level, or does he feel like a guy who's primarily a catcher but's got an arm that you might be able to find something with?
Yeah, we felt like it was slightly ahead as a hitter, but it's very close. It's very close. Just needs a little bit more polish on the mound to be able to say, hey, this is going to be a bona fide arm. But it's definitely there. He's got the arm strength. Certainly has the competitive nature, too, to handle it.
Well, the profile's got him with a fastball up around 92, changeup 79 to 82, curveball 71, 74, and a slider 76 to 77. He issues a walk to Spencer, so the courtesy runner will be aboard, and the count will reset here to Spencer. In for a strike in the inside corner. A laser beam of a pickoff attempt there at first. Gotta love a guy who has a 184 pop time and 102 EV and can run it up to 92 on the mound. That's a resume for Thomas Barnhart.
Yeah, and it's 84 to 85 out of the squat, which I believe was the top 5 catcher velo of this event on the workout day yesterday.
And there's some ridiculous catchers here, that's for sure, so that's saying something. Count is 1-2 here to Spencer. Another tooled-up player, top-ranked first baseman in Michigan, and he sends that down the first baseline, and that is going to be extra base. Now Spencer's going to, he's taking off for second. Runner will hold at third, so his courtesy always came off the bag. He got him. That has been a storyline to watch throughout this night. A couple different times we've been stopped by rain, and that came back to haunt Tristan Spencer. Just came tumbling across the bag, and smart defensive work there to apply the tag. So runner out at second, so they'll still have one at third, so the tying run's 90 feet away.
Nice heads-up play there at short.
Sure was, not giving up on it. This will be Jackson Reinhart now with one out. Lays off that first pitch. Ooh. That was a big swing and a miss, now 1-1. Man, he is fired up. It's almost as if Barnhart is taking it as an affront that Tristan Spencer drilled that one down the first baseline, because he's notching it up a little bit here.
Yeah, I see him peeking at the scoreboard a little bit. He probably wasn't too happy with the 86 he saw a couple pitches ago.
I think it was 88.7 there. It's got a 2-2 count here against Reinhardt. Runner at third, one out. Throws that one back foul. We've officially turned it into Friday now on this broadcast. So now midnight Eastern. Miss high, count's going to be full. Final inning for us in this one. A good game thus far. Oh, punches him out on the 3-2 pitch. Right down the middle. Big strikeout for Barnhart, now 2 down. Flip Waters going to get one more chance. He's 0 for 2 in this game. The Prep Baseball All-American, #1 player in Michigan, #3 in the country. It's a good matchup here for Barnhart. Of course, Flip Waters' brother Bino now going from Notre Dame to LSU. Brother Rhino, Central Michigan quarterback. Grocery
Just some
bill.
incredible names in that family.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, his real name is Colton, but apparently nobody but his mama calls him Colton. So, said I had a buddy doing it the other day during some cage work just to kind of take him off his game a little bit. But Waters watches that one, counting out 2-1. I can't imagine the grocery bill in a household where you've got the monsters that this family breeds. Clearly going to Costco or Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Waters shoots that to third. Gloves into time. Can he make the throw? Pulls him off the bag. We've now got a tie ball game. Rush throw at third. Waters is going to be standing at first. Got himself an RBI, and we are notched up at 9-9. So Waters going to get a courtesy runner, and it'll bring in Timmy Clary. Clary is 0 for 2. Tough play at third without question to try to also get a guy in Waters that can run a 6.47. Courtesy runner takes off, and he'll easily have second, but he came flying off the bag. It is getting dicey on these base paths, trying to stick the landing. We are now 20 pitches in for Barnhart. Makes it now a 2-0 count to Clary. You mentioned Ohio's playing Kansas tomorrow night at 8:30. Then it's Kentucky at 2:30 on Saturday. Michigan's got Kentucky at 5:15 tomorrow, and then they will play Kansas at 5:30 on Saturday. Count is 2-1 to Clary. Here comes Barnhart's delivery. Works that in for a strike. Now 2-2. Get out of this and give those Ohio bats an opportunity in the bottom of the 8th to see if they can get out of here in walk-off fashion. Comes the 2-2 to Clary. Puts it in play. Shortstop gloves it. Throws in time. Inning is over. We are all tied up at 9-9. You like drama? You like rivalries? We got it all playing out as we're on to the bottom of the 8th in Ohio versus Michigan from the feature games.
The success of every athlete depends on their instincts and split-second decision-making skills. S2 Cognition delivers the leading digital evaluation that is scientifically validated to measure these cognitive abilities that have been unquantifiable until now. The S2 eval is designed to analyze how athletes see, think, and react to in-game split-second decisions. So how does S2 work? The S2 eval is a 30 to 45-minute sports-specific digital evaluation that measures an athlete's cognitive skills and instincts. The eval is uniquely designed for each sport to capture the split-second decisions made in the game. The S2 score report is automatically generated after the eval, with data that provides a complete picture of the athlete's cognitive skills. These results will unlock opportunities for athletes, coaches, athletic directors, scouts, and general managers. It's time to know your game so that you can build to win.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
It'll be Colt Ward with Jake Coling and Jacob Grishel to follow. Cory McCartney, Prep Baseball Ohio scouting director Kyle Weldon. Kyle, do you have a pep talk for the guys as they try to go walk off here? What would you be telling the guys right now in the dugout if you were here in Georgia?
What more can you ask for? You mean this is why you play baseball, to be in situations like this where one swing can send the dugout into a frenzy and set the tone for the weekend.
Well, Evan King's on the mound, and he is quickly got himself an 0-2 count here against Ward. This guy is working quickly. Now 1-2 off that miss. I mean, he's barely allowing the batter a chance to even catch his breath before he's ready to wind up. Oh, man, he goes with the nasty secondary. It's drop third, though. Runner comes off. They just got him. Man, that was a dicey situation. Looked like Ward was going to reach in time as the first baseman was pulled off the bag on that throw from the catcher on the drop third. But that's out number one as it's back to the top of the order. And Jake Coling. Coling is 1 for 1. Coling drives that. Center fielder's going to catch it, and Ohio is going to be down to their last chance. And you talk about the right guy in the right moment for a last chance is Jacob Grishel's going to step in. Ohio's number one player and try to come through here. We just saw Michigan's number one player, Colton Waters, set the stage for what will be a tying run So what Grichelle's got in store here, and watch a strike one from King. Swing fouls that off. Count now 0-2. Boys from the Buckeye State now down to their last strike. Comes King on the 0-2 to Jacob Grichelle. Spikes that, almost hit Grichelle on the foot, but count's not going to be 1-2. Big moment here from one of the top 2028s in the nation. Another spike, now 2-2.
Got to be sitting here on this.
Fouls it off. Count is now stuck at 2-2. Oh, Grichelle gets a hold of that one, 94.8, but that is into the glove of the center fielder. That is going to be ball game. Kyle, I know a tie is like kissing your sister, but I have to imagine a tie against Michigan is something far worse.
Yeah, that's brutal. But, you know, just a little bit of sloppy here and there, not quite throwing enough strikes. And you put nine runs up on the board, you should expect to win that game. But it's a good start. Get guys kind of to get the nerves out of their system and get them ready for the rest of the weekend. So I'm excited about the group. I think a lot of guys showed pretty well today.
9 runs on 6 hits. I know you probably cannot say enough great things about Knox Brenning, who homered and also had a big double in this one. A couple of hard hit balls from this switch hitter, and suffice to say, this guy opened a lot of eyes if they weren't already keyed in on Knox Brenning.
No doubt, man. It's a great game. Both sides of the plate. Didn't get quite the outing he wanted, but showed what he needed to show as a hitter. And I think 2 more days of that, and it's going to have a busy August 1st.
All right, we're going to take a break in studio. Kyle, thank you so much. I truly do appreciate it. Congratulations again. First-time father. Go enjoy that, man. Hopefully you can watch the next couple games on Aware TV to stay up on your boys down here in Georgia. But thank you so much, man. I cannot thank you enough for spending this time with me.
This is great, Cory. I appreciate it.
All right, break in studio. We'll be back from the 2026 Future Games.
There's nothing more important for your organization than the look and functionality of where your team spends most of their time. Here at Netting Pros and Stadionic, we create iconic facilities that exceed industry standards and become the headline of your organization. We've worked with dozens of the top leagues, collegiate programs, and professional baseball organizations.
We are here at Clemson University to build our second baseball field on a football field.
And having that partner with Netting Pros to be able to look at that and say, how can we make this happen that can be great for fans, great for the experience, and they nailed it.
We have customized solutions for whatever your needs may be to help every aspect of your project, bringing facilities to life.
You got to make sure that we're having the top premier product. We want the best for our guys.
Without great partnerships and collaboration with Netting Pros, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
We're confident that your venue will stand above the rest and your vision for the future will be made into a reality.
At First Form, we help real people earn real long-term results. It doesn't matter if you're working out at home, you just started in the gym, or you're competing in the largest arenas around the world. Our full line of nutritional supplements are second to none and designed to fuel your journey every step of the way. With our industry-leading 110% money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Visit firstform.com today and let us help you reach your goals.
What a great start for us here on game day of our games of the day on the Prep Baseball Feature Games 9-9 tie for Ohio and Michigan. This rivalry played out in a big way and a big night for Knox Brenning at the plate for Ohio. Hit a massive home run in the 4th inning, then comes back with an RBI double, and there was no doubt in anyone's mind after that double that Knox Brenning had solidified player of the game. So Make sure you check out his interview with Avery Howard, available on all of the Prep Baseball social media channels. We are far from done, though, with these Game of the Day broadcasts. We're actually going to be back later today. I have to say that because it's almost 12:15 a.m. as we cut to our broadcast schedule and show you what is still to come here on the feature games over the next few days. Our Game of the Day series will continue on Friday, Canada and Maryland, 10 a.m. And then on Saturday, it's Indiana, Missouri at 11:30 a.m. Wraps up Sunday with a championship game coverage of the junior feature game. So you will not want to miss any of that. And a reminder, if you want to watch anything from the Prep Baseball feature games or any of Prep Baseball's events here at LakePoint Sports, you can find it via LakePoint Live, powered by Aware TV and Pixelot. So you can, again, find all the games across all of the feature games, but our broadcasts, like always, available for free on Facebook, X, and YouTube. And we will begin back tomorrow or later today, however you want to quantify that. Canada and Maryland will be our Game of the Day coming up next. So really, again, appreciate Kyle Weldon, Prep Baseball Ohio Scouting Director and new dad, joining us. So thank you so much, Kyle. For producer Maddie Bullock, I'm Cory McCartney. For now, we are signing off from LakePoint Sports.